This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Please note the thoughts, opinions, jokes, and every other bad taste that the guest and the host of Hobie, aka the History of Bad Ideas, is of their own, is not associated with any companies they may work for, any firms they work with, any advertisers, or anybody else in general. And remember, it's just a joke.
Alright. It's about comic books and movies, growing up with Rokusuke, Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale is just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Jeff defends Aquaman, Blake's just not listening. What? Jason impersonates Michael Caine.
Some people just want to watch World Bud.
Jeff nails another draft day. Blake's top 5 has 98.
I got
Jason
more.
just loves him some Kevin James.
Fucking Kevin James.
It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's a history of bad.
So bad.
It's a history of bad ideas. It's a history of bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's a history of bad. It's a history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 206. I was going to say 106. Woo, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was 100 ago.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Blake.
Yay! We got our Blake bot fixed from dengue fever. How are you feeling?
It was actually the plague.
The plague.
It was a virus.
You know, the
It was a
plague.
macrovirus.
The plague affects 15 people a year, mostly in the West, in Arizona and New Mexico.
Yeah.
Only affects or kills?
It can kill. It can
Well,
kill
obviously it can kill.
because of gophers and groundhogs.
Stupid.
No, not
gophers.
groundhogs. What's the little things that pop up?
Prairie dogs?
Prairie dogs. Thank you.
dogs.
Prairie dogs. They carry it on their back. I'm not kidding. I thought that was a very interesting thing. Who knew in this day and age?
Well, maybe it could have been my old adventuring days to Central Africa or Madagascar.
Ooh, I like the way you move it. Move it.
Yeah.
Sorry, no one
Horrible
else gets
plague.
that.
Horrible
I
plague.
mean, everybody gets it. It's just a terrible, terrible reference.
It's a terrible franchise.
Yes.
Madagascar.
Yes, it is. And that was an unfunny part of the best movie.
That's great.
And hopefully in 2018, they're not coming out with a Madagascar 2.
They're up to like 4. They've done 3 of
5.
them. 7.
Madagascar 5.
And the Penguins of Madagascar.
That could be on Jason's list. That's at the end of the podcast.
That's right.
Oh,
Tease.
yeah.
Tease.
Ooh, tease.
Blake, I'm glad you're back. You look
Me
a little.
too.
You look a little beat.
I'm a little subdued.
Okay.
I'm slightly subdued. I'm not 100%.
Did this really kick your ass for like a week?
I was knocked on my ass for a week.
Jesus.
I was bedridden from like Sunday through most of Friday.
Well, you messaged us like, I'm gonna try to get there. It's like, why? You sound even in your text you sound horrible. Just stay home.
Because no one wants to miss.
Nobody
No.
wants to miss a podcast.
That's true. We do a
you
good
know.
job.
I mean, I may sound a little phlegmy tonight,
Ooh.
but other than
Sounds
that,
sexy.
Oh
We do appreciate Andrew for filling in for you last week.
yeah,
we appreciate it.
how was Andy?
And
I think he waits till you're not on before he decides to agree.
Andrew was great. He was from the Cincinnati Comic Expo, and he did a great job last week.
He's the boss man.
He is the boss man. He does. His expo does sponsor us.
Did he come on and just give us all kinds of magna cum laudes?
Yes. Yes. I don't know how to respond to that. Yes, he did.
He said something about coming loud. What?
No, down the hall.
Oh.
That's our porn podcast.
It's called Down the Hall.
Yes, sir. No, Andrew was on last year. It was great. If you haven't listened, tune into episode 205. We talked a lot of different things about pop culture last week, especially The Good Witch on Hallmark Channel. Really good
Talked
show.
way too much about the Good Witch.
A lot of plots in those. Lots of plots. So
Sure.
if you haven't listened, go ahead and listen. We're on iTunes, nerdly.co.uk. Good day, mate.
Hello, Vicka.
Tangent Monkey.
Tangent Bound Network.
Wanka.
Danger Entertainment.
Cunt. Well, not Danger Entertainment.
No.
Danger Entertainment.
We Be Geeks, PC.com, And every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Jeff, make sure you put it up this week. And like I said, for the UK fans, we're on nerdly.co.uk. And my movie reviews are up there, too. I will be doing Star Wars this week. Ooh. Anyone going to see Star Wars Last Jedi this week?
Yes.
I'm going Thursday.
That's exactly why I'm going to miss our awards extravaganza.
You're going Sunday?
At noon.
You disappoint me.
It's a big family thing. We got reservations, big tickets.
Ooh. Like big tickets, like the ones they give like lottery winners?
Yes.
Like those tickets, you got to scan those at the door?
Doesn't even fit in the car.
I'm going to say the 90-year-old usher that is going to scan that is going to take a long time. He may fall over.
I just needed, well, actually, I wanted electronic tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even fit on my big screen.
That's how big they are?
That's how big they are.
I'm excited about it. Jeff, you excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait for The Last Jedi. I mean, Empire Strikes Back Part 2. I mean, Last Jedi.
Stop it.
Oh, man. You know they're going to have a super cloud city.
Did you know?
You understand that? And instead of Dagobah, it's going to be a wet planet. And they're going to have, training montage. Rey training with Luke. Yeah. Kylo training with Darth Sidious. Yeah.
Everybody needs a montage.
Yeah. Kylo's going to kill the princess.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Kylo's going to kill.
And then Kylo and Ren are going to fight. And Kylo's going to win the first time around because it's Empire Strikes Back.
Part 2.
2.
There's supposedly a surprise twist at the end of it.
Super cumulus Cloud City. And it just ain't Dagobah. It's like super wet Dagobah.
Ooh, that sounds dirty. That sounds like Down the Hall podcast. Right. There's supposedly a surprise ending. I'm going to say Rey's a man. Is this the crying game again? I'm telling you. Surprise ending. Surprise ending. No, they said don't ruin it. So I'm wondering what it is. And let me tell you, if it's what we talked about 80 episodes ago about being the reincarnation of Jedi Knights,
yes,
I may cry, and not in a good way.
No.
I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens.
Fall on the ground, fist pumping your hand in the air.
And then I'll be there in 2 years for number 9.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be fine.
Or whatever a Star Wars story they release next year.
Han Solo.
Fill that hole.
Solo. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's right. It's called Solo.
A Star Wars story.
Just
to let you know, a little bit later on in the episode, I had privilege of interviewing director Dom Lenore. And Jeff, you'll be happy when I talk to him. I actually got it right.
You pronounce his name right to him?
And he said, not everybody does that, so I appreciated that. Let's see. We also had Matt Hookings. He's the actor in Winter Ridge. Dom Lenore is the director of it as well. So they sat down with me this past weekend, and we talked pretty good time for it. And there are movies coming out in January in the UK. There's some UK chaps.
Hey, jolly good.
Matt Hookings has been, the actor has been in several films. He's been in Kingsman. He played a young Michael Caine. Some people just want to watch Old Bud. That's my Michael Caine. And he's also been in, I can't say the name of it, Maleficent? I came close, didn't I?
Yeah, you were pretty darn there.
And Edge of Tomorrow. And this is his first lead role, is Winter Ridge. And they were on 365 Flicks podcast, too. And Chris and Kev actually set me up with them, with Dom and Matt, so I appreciate that. In the beginning, I actually called Matt Mark because I was just trying to go over my notes, and I screwed that up, so that was nice.
Way to go. He's like,
awesome.
Amateurs here.
I did tell them that we are professional amateurs, so we appreciate them coming on to our show.
That's right.
But yeah, so they'll be on in a little bit.
Yes.
And I do recommend if you guys can hear it. It's a fun interview with them.
Did you talk about the differences of crisps and chips?
I did not. We did talk a little Westworld, though.
Ooh. Now I'm intrigued.
See?
Now I want to listen.
So I do want to
thank you. I wasn't going to listen because you were interviewing them. But if it was Kevin or Chris, I'd listen.
I'll be honest. I actually didn't talk much. It was kind of nice.
Oh.
I just said some questions. They just ran with it. So
they were good interviews where you didn't have to keep leading them.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So I appreciate it.
All right. So we got that to look forward to.
Oh, good.
Can we talk one thing? Did anyone watch the highlights of the Buffalo Bills Indianapolis Colts game?
No.
I've seen highlights of the blizzard storm.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Did you see it, Jeff, at all?
I saw a clip that they showed it was snowing.
I watched the highlights online last night from the NFL Network. Mm-hmm. If you haven't had a chance, that is how football should be played. I mean,
In the wintertime.
In wintertime.
Off of Lake Erie.
The punter for the Colts kicked it, and it ended. It came down at the 2-yard line and just stopped in the 6 feet of snow. It just stopped.
Well, it sounds like a great punt.
It was. The announcers were like, "Well, you don't see that every day." It just stopped.
Yeah, well, you know, the Browns and the Bills played a similar game like that a couple years ago. I think the final score was 6-3.
This one was 7-0 for a while. The Colts went down the field. They scored a touchdown with 2 minutes left. They went for the 2-point conversion, got it, but there was an illegal block on the Colts. So it came back. Vinatieri had to kick a 43-yard field goal or extra point. It was to the right of the upright, completely to the right, and then tails back in to tie it.
I saw that. It was like a giant curveball.
Yes!
It was the weirdest kick I've ever seen.
And if you watch it, the Buffalo Bills are all jumping up and down because they thought they won because he missed the extra point. Nope, it comes back around.
Back in. They're like, yeah. Ooh.
And then
the Bills go on to win in overtime anyway.
They did because they threw an interception. The Colts had the ball with 1 minute left and couldn't score. Or they missed a field goal, and then the Colts won with a 20-yard thing. But the
Bills won, right?
Bills won. Sorry, McCoy ran it for 23 yards.
Yeah, after getting all the winners wrong last week.
Yes.
I figure we shouldn't do that again this week.
Well, the funny part was the Colts did not make a passing play until 5 minutes left in the second quarter. That was their first pass attempt.
Wow.
They did either 19 or 21 straight rushing attempts because you couldn't do anything. I mean, they were. It was 4 inches an hour coming down in Buffalo, and the fans were loving it.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how you could live in Buffalo.
I think the Buffalo fans were like, "It's a typical Sunday. We're fine."
Oh,
yeah,
it's typical, but nope.
I don't know how you drive in that.
Nope, you don't.
Well, how do you get to the stadium?
You get a dog sled.
I want to see what the prices for Uber were yesterday.
Probably pretty high.
$200 one way.
Now, for our listeners across the big pond, that's American football we're talking about.
Yes.
But real quick, for European football, I'll just tell you that the Blues beat the Reds.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know if I like that or not.
Oh.
Well, first of all, you have to know who the Blues and the Reds are.
They were showing.
Guessing it's Arsenal and Chelsea.
No, it was quite a derby.
A derby?
That's okay. They're lost.
I'm
folks.
lost.
We're fine.
Blake, that's why you're the UK
That's right.
ambassador.
That's why I'm here.
Blake, did you watch The Walking Dead?
Yeah, and I'm pissed.
Uh-oh.
See, that's why you should stop watching it.
You know,
It can't disappoint you if you don't watch it.
I would speed mode for like 5 minutes here, if that, for the spoilers.
I've got some. Yeah, all right. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it yet, I'm really pissed off because there's some really stupid decisions that happened in the past couple episodes. That just
the last couple episodes.
It just makes you sit there and go, "What the bleepity bleep are you thinking?" Let's start with. All right, well, let's start with, if you have a plan, stick to the plan and execute it. My biggest fucking complaint about, the whole Walking Dead thing was the whole zombie plan in the first place. Mm-hmm. So you lead the horde there off the interstate circle into the Savior's, hideaway factory or whatever the hell it's called. And then everything's working the way it's supposed to be, then you got a couple of dipshits that think they're more important than the plan.
Yes.
Because Rick's missing, by the way. Did anybody know where Rick went?
He supposedly everybody knew.
Supposedly everybody knew.
But they didn't care.
But they didn't care, obviously, because he went to the whack-ass garbage people who sculpt naked in garbage.
Can we say that you spent an episode and a half there?
Yes.
To get them on your side, and then they run away at the first gunfire.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because not like photos, and they run.
Yeah, I'm like
the Polaroids that he was taking of the horde outside of the Savior's compound.
Yeah.
And then out of this whole point, nobody takes the time to sit there and go, Rick went to go talk to the garbage people, and he's not back yet. No, instead they sit there and go, we're gonna finish this now. Fuck the plan.
Yeah.
We're going to take this truck and we're going to drive it through the zombies and we're going to hit the doors and we're going to let them all in. Sounds like a great plan. I don't think you should do that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Fuck you. I got to see it myself. Yeah. And they run the truck in. Okay. We're done here. Let's go.
Have a good day.
See you later. It's like you gotta see that plan through. You just don't run it through there. That's when they're at their most vulnerable, is when all the zombies are in there and all that kind of stuff. And they just run it thinking, okay, we're done. Hey, everybody back up. We're out. Okay.
That was the plan that every James Bond villain does. Are you going to watch him die? No, I'm sure he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Those sharks will kill him. He'll be fine.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. Why did you put a timer on the laser to split him in half at 5 minutes? I don't want to do it right away.
No, just go ahead and take a gun, put it up to his head. Boom. No.
That's not classy.
No.
I'm classy. I'm classy.
What stupidity. I mean, I just can't believe the stupidity of the whole thing. I mean, it's just so stupid.
When Maggie comes back, I like Maggie. I like the character of Maggie. I like the actress, too. Hey.
Yeah, you like Maggie.
So she gets back, and she's like, reinforce the walls, protect everything, blah, blah, blah. Let's start reinforcing. Why weren't you doing this 6 weeks ago?
When you knew everything was starting.
You knew the plan was happening. Fucking reinforce.
Exactly.
And again, it pisses me off in Alexandria. Build a fucking moat around the place. You have the construction equipment. Build a fucking... Don't even have to fill it with water. Just make a giant... hole around.
Just do something.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that whole zombie plan with them going off on their own, and then at the end, didn't anybody realize that it was Dwight that was helping them?
They were not bright.
No, I'm like, how do you think you had all the... I didn't understand that either. I was like, I understand Dwight at the very end. Hey, I'm like, well, he's the one that gave you all the search, secret posts and watches and everything. I was like, oh, so somebody was just giving, Rick was just a genius and came up with this shit?
And Daryl knew that he was.
Yeah, exactly. And that just fucking irritated
But at that point, also, do you just shoot him because he has no other purpose? Because he can't go back. He can't give you any other info. Have a good day.
Yeah,
Bam.
I know how he thinks. I know how Negan thinks. And of course, once again, Rick has a chance to kill Negan. Doesn't do it. Can't get it done.
I'm going to run away. I got a gun.
And, I'm in there. The Saviors are in there. I go to my house, and I'm like, Carl. It was like, who do you think's waiting there for you?
Making spaghetti.
Asshole, making spaghetti. Fucking Negan. And that irritates. And, the whole Carl thing, up on the fence, that was kind of like a hard,
I like that.
Heartwarming moment, and you understand where Carl's coming through. Is like, let's remember we're all human beings, the human factor kind of deal that tied into him giving food.
Is this who you really want to be?
Giving food to is this really who you want to be? Kind of deal. And then, at the very end, oh, by the way, Carl's been bit.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute.
I thought he might have been bit when he was helping Saeed.
When he was helping, Saeed there, and the zombie was on top of him, but it didn't look like it was bit there.
It didn't tear his shirt. That was impressive.
It didn't tear his shirt. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was riding up the shirt.
Knot or something, whatever. But anyways, that was like one of those twists at the end. And you just look at it like, after I got pissed off about the zombie plan, the incompetence, Rick being held by the garbage people, nobody giving a shit about what the fuck happened to Rick.
Garbage people running away.
Not sticking to the plan, and then leaving after you ran the gates in. Okay, see you later. We're done. Woo! No. You see it to the end,
Time out. Was George W. Bush in charge of that? Operation Mission Accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, wait.
Oh, shit. We got 10 years of mop-up duty.
Down the hall.
Oh, shit.
You know what they didn't show?
What's that?
They didn't show Carl getting busy freaky with the horny chick, where the bites were just from their steamy sex scenes.
Oh, that's what it was.
That would be funny if that's what it came back as. It's just a hickey.
Just survive somehow. That's right.
Well, did you see on Twitter? Well, you probably haven't, but on Facebook and Twitter, Carl's Chandler Riggs, the actor, he's fine with everything. He basically was telling them that he wasn't going to go to college. He was taking a year off to do acting, all that. Supposedly, the AMC and Scott Gimple, the showrunner, came back and said, we want to give you a 3-year contract on AMC for Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He said, okay. 4 days later or 5 days later, you're getting killed off. And they...
Hold on. Who did he not sleep with?
Well, here's the thing.
In Hollywood to get...
Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, damn.
Fuck Kevin Spacey! I'm Kevin Spacey! I like little boys!
It's fucking Spacey.
I became Salacious Crumb as Kevin Spacey.
Yes,
there you go, yeah.
But Chandler Riggs' dad today was going off on AMC how Scott Gimple was fucking lying. He's a piece of shit. And I'm like, oh, God, no. Don't be that dad. Don't be that dad.
yeah.
Your son is 18. Don't be that dad.
He's
Let him
already
go.
that dad.
Yep. Oh, he was earlier. Trust me.
Don't go all LeVar Ball on his ass.
You fired him 5 days before his 18th birthday. Okay. So what?
Welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not really firing in the Hollywood business.
And you were
Your
on
character's just not allowed
You've been
back.
on the show for what, 7.5 years? Count yourself lucky that you were on a hit show for 7.5 years. And in theory, you should never have to work.
Yeah, if you didn't blow that money you had, you should be able to set that up into trust and at least never have to be desperate for money again.
And you're going to live off the residuals, too, of the repeats and everything else that they show all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, those 48 cents you get every other.
It doesn't matter. It still adds up. If Tony Schiavone's getting $500 from a fucking Ready to Rumble once a year, I'm sure Chandler's getting
That's right.
several thousand. But no, I'm okay. I'm okay with them changing it up. I would have liked it better. I still want Rick to die.
Yeah, I like how Eugene's just a fucking asshole.
He's an asshole, but he is also mental. He is. I don't know what he's doing.
He's a character I love to hate.
Yes. I love his
I
moments.
hate him. I mean, I hate him more than Negan,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
tell you the truth.
Negan's trying to survive in the society. He's trying to build something. Whether you like his tactics or not, yeah,
Whether
he
you
wants
agree
to.
with what he's building. Yeah, exactly.
Correct. He's still building a society.
in
It
his
may not
mind,
be a-
yeah, it may
yes.
not be perfect, may not be democratic.
But in his mind, he's doing the right thing. Eugene,
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
thinks
has
it is.
anything. Eugene just wants to
Eugene
survive.
Is looking out for himself.
Yes. I'm intrigued to see how it works because the next after the all-out war, Chandler Riggs' character Carl has big parts in the Whisperers War, and yep, that's what they do, and in the comic books. And the actual next storyline that comes up is the future after the all-out war, which I won't say. But he's big in those two. I don't know how you're going to change that, and I'm okay with that if you're going to change some stuff. But again, I still would be fine if you killed Rick and put Ezekiel in charge. I love Ezekiel. I love that character. I think he's a hell of an actor in that role, and I like his dreadlocks. I think he's pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah.
can't you just give Daryl everybody's plot points?
You could, but it's a lot different because he's a kid in the comic books, Carl. So.
Well, he's not a kid anymore, so.
And I like how Negan and Carl, I think Carl and Negan had a connection because Negan's the only one that's ever treated him like an adult in that world. And they made a point of it on Talking Dead last night. Everyone has seen Carl grow up except Negan. So that's how he talks to him as a regular person. He doesn't
Yeah.
talk to him like a kid still.
Interesting.
See? There you go. So there's your Walking Dead.
Okay, while I was bedridden fighting off the plague
Dengue fever.
that I probably contracted while I was in this house wearing this D60 hat that your number one fan gave us, which we learned D does not mean 140 or whatever the hell it means.
No, it doesn't. No, it
Numerals.
doesn't.
I think he lied to us.
Doug? No.
No, I binge watched Gotham to get ready for the Floppy Awards ceremonies we have coming up. And I just want to say that I'm not as impressed with Gotham anymore as I used to be.
I am shocked. I'm shocked by that.
I started losing interest in it at the ending of last season. I like my Batman to be a little bit more.
Angsty?
No, not angsty.
Angry and angsty.
I mean, other than the ability to run, not like a girl. What I'm talking about is I like to be more grounded in kind of like reality in the real world kind of thing, because that's how I view him. He's a rich guy. He eventually becomes a rich guy with a lot of nice toys, but there's nothing supernatural about it. And that's where they've gone. They've gone to the weird supernatural stuff with Ra's al Ghul, with like the Lazarus waters, and then all of a sudden, Naughty Barbara is alive again because somehow Ra's al Ghul found her, put her in the water, Lazarus waters. Like Alfred came back to life, and everybody else came back to life.
They killed Alfred?
Spoiler alert.
They killed Alfred?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the last season.
Oh, I missed that one.
Well,
get to the
actually,
end of that
Bruce
season.
kills Alfred. But anyway,
Is that bad, Bruce?
no, yeah, it's horrible acting and horrible running, brainwashed Bruce.
Oh, is this the Forrest Gump running?
Yes.
Forrest Gump Bruce Wayne? Okay.
You know, so, and then, you know, the whole Solomon Grundy thing, you know, them coming back to life.
Well, Solomon Grundy's
Well, he wasn't actually dead, as we technically find out. He was just, you know, kind of lobotomized, brain dead. They dumped him off in a, you know, chemical swamp.
Okay.
And he comes out, all of a sudden his hand grows back. I mean, we have no
I
idea
love
what happened.
chemical swamps.
You know, hand grows back, and Solomon Grundy, and, you know, it's just, you know, it just gets just too damn weird. And then, of course, you know, Gordon's got another love interest. Except this time it's Falcone's daughter. Blah 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 blah. The Penguin, you know, it's kind of, it keeps its sense of humor though. Mm-hmm. You know, he kind of like unionizes crime. You can't commit a crime without a permit.
Well, wait a minute. I want to back up a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, you said he's dating Falcone's daughter.
Yes.
Didn't his previous girlfriend get married to Falcone's son?
Well, now hold on. She went all Morticia. She's now Morticia Adams in the Fight Zone. Doctor. I'm dead serious.
Oh,
I'm
wasn't her fiance
Yeah.
Falcone's son? So now
Yeah, you know.
So now they're going to be in-laws.
I'm not gonna give that away. I already.
Trust me, no one's watching. You're fine.
All right. So basically, what I had is still the worst job you can have in Gotham is in the police department.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
How many more
surprised
officers
they
have
could-
died this year?
I'm surprised that they could keep people, you know.
It's been 6 hours since an officer
Employed.
got shot.
Yeah, I know.
That would be the worst job in the police force, is to be the one to change the sign every time.
No, not the
Yeah.
cop that's getting killed every
No,
week.
no.
Just the sign.
Changing the
I gotta
sign.
get
Oh,
up
no.
again.
You know,
I'm
you know,
just sitting at the top of this ladder.
you know how in some businesses they have 10 days last accident. They got their last hour since police. GCPD,
Well, we're down to
police kill.
48 minutes. Come on, guys, you can do it. It's Christmas.
You know,
Pull it together.
and it just gets to the point where, all right, it started off a little interesting because they bring in the scarecrow concept, and then it just gets goofy from there. And he's like, whatever, and you just don't care anymore. But I was so invested, and I was sick and couldn't do anything else. I just lay on the couch and play next episode.
So let me ask you this: Is it better than Batman v Superman?
I think so.
Okay.
It's still
So you
better than
recommend
Batman
Gotham.
versus Superman.
Okay. Did Bruce Wayne? Is there a magical stick that could kill Bruce Wayne that he just throws in the water? I don't need this. I don't need it.
No, but there was a magical knife that killed Ra's al Ghul.
Did they just throw it in the water after that? We won't need this anymore.
No, he goes on a drinking binge.
It's kind of like the Walking Dead of planes. Don't
young
need that.
Bruce becomes, first of all, the actor that's playing young Bruce is annoying. And now he becomes
Jesus.
really annoying, obnoxious
David.
young Bruce Wayne.
David.
David.
And he becomes, a complete prick to Alfred and all this other kind of stuff. And you're just like, and yeah, he just doesn't have the depth that's needed. He's like, I killed. I know exactly what I don't know what I want. And then he's, at least they didn't show him running this series.
Run, Bruce, run!
Flailing his arms.
So, but didn't he put on at least a version of the?
Yeah, it was
of a bat
stupid.
suit?
Yeah, it was stupid.
He's like 16 in it. I'm not intimidated by him.
No, it was ridiculous.
Go to your room. Okay.
Yeah, it was. And I just want to say it's basically has gone off the deep end. It's jumped the shark, obviously, with the Lazarus water crap.
You know what hasn't jumped the shark? Jurassic World: Fallen
No.
Kingdom. Greatest trailer out there.
No.
Not only did they jump the shark, they
Don't do it.
drug the shark on land, beat it with a stick, said "Wish you were a horse," and kept beating it and beating it.
And then the
was
Monstersaurus
actually
comes up and kills it.
An old dino shark
What did you
Well, if they have dino sharks in the new one, that
with
would be cool.
legs
and lasers.
and lasers attached to its fucking head.
We're on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast, so please follow us. Also on History of Bad Ideas on Facebook. So if you like us, listen to like us on Facebook because we have a lot of pop culture news and everything coming out every day. Also, what did you think of the Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom trailer? This was our Twitter poll of the week. We always have a poll, many of them actually, but this is our main one this week. Awesome, can't wait. Good has potential. Average doesn't excite me. I agree with Doug, #1 fan. Terrible. In last place, with 5% of the vote, good has potential. My pick, awesome, can't wait, got 19% of the vote. That's not a good sign.
Not at all.
And I even tagged Chris Pratt in this thing, so I don't think he's coming on our show now. 43% to 33%, doesn't matter at this point. 1, I agree with Doug, terrible beat average. Now,
So terrible beat even
Now,
average doesn't excite me.
bad movie ideas can they keep coming up with Jurassic
well,
Park?
there's a couple things.
How
the
many?
volcano blows up. Here's the good
I
news.
mean, it's Jurassic Park of the Caribbean.
Oh, that would be cool.
I mean, they both have like 6 movies each, right?
No.
I mean, like the dinosaurs are attacking, and then you see
Dead Man's Chest? Yeah, Jack Sparrow come
All I see is Tyrannosaurus Rex with the long
you go.
hair and the pirate hat on.
Well, you might as well.
The good news is the trailer was not. I will take my rose-colored
Did it have
glasses
an Elsa
off.
short in the middle?
No, it didn't. No, it
Just
didn't.
asking.
The good news is the trailer did not leave me too excited, but I still love Jurassic World. Anyways, it didn't leave me too excited, but the good news is it only showed the first 45 minutes of the show. Like anything from that clip was
there
45
pterodactyls?
minutes. There was pterodactyls.
There was a pterodactyl, you're right.
But it was only the first 45 minutes. So that's the good news. Then I started looking
Were there
online this
velociraptors
weekend.
in it?
Yes.
Of course, there's always velociraptors.
And an Endoraptor. They've hybrided. So the
Well, yeah, because that worked so well last
well
time.
now they're
Was that
trying
the-
to sell them.
Was that the Disco Donna Summer?
No. Staying
Disco
alive,
Donna
staying
Summer?
alive. Disco
Raptor?
Duck? Disco Duck? Anyways,
Yeah. Donna Summer didn't sing "Staying Alive." That was the Bee Gees.
I don't know the music.
Put it in the movie anyways.
So I did some research this weekend, and I actually found out what some of the plot is about. The outline. 'Cause
Dinosaurs
I can. Yeah,
in a
it's about
park.
dinosaurs.
It gets
trying
out
to
of
kill
control.
people.
And it kills people, and they try to stop it.
I can't talk about this with
Are
you
there
morons.
velociraptors?
Fuck y'all.
And a T-Rex
Like, let's
that knocks a car over?
Like,
Are
let's
they
listen
in a
to
car
feedback.
and they drive real fast, trying to outrun a T-Rex?
What's the
Is there any electric fence?
what's the
Don't pee on the electric
Don't
fence.
whiz on the electric fence.
I hate you. I'm glad you had dengue fever. Anyways, what's the listener feedback? If you'd like to send it
listener
to us,
feedback.
Bad Ideas Podcast and the History of Bad Ideas and hobiepod@gmail.com. Go ahead.
Did you give the Twitter account out?
Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter.
At Bad Ideas Podcast.
Yep.
Awesome.
So follow us.
Or
And if you
post
like
a-
us,
yeah.
write a review on iTunes. We appreciate it. And tell a friend.
And
And then,
apologize.
and write another review.
That's right. All right, this week's listener feedback
Dun, dun, dun.
brought to you by the Seattle Seahawks Good Sportsmanship Foundation. Because you're just a good athlete doesn't mean you're a good person. Starting off, Doug,
Ape hands.
formerly known as.
Currently known as Ape hands.
He says, I know what I'm getting Jeff and Blake for Christmas. Who's Afraid of the Song of the South and Other Forbidden Disney Stories is now a book on Amazon.
I would like to
Ooh.
read that story.
Is this a social justice warrior attack on the Song of the South?
I don't think everybody
actually
can
don't-
attack Song of the South, okay?
I actually don't think
need-
it is, though. I think it's probably just going to take it from a historical perspective.
which should not have been made. Well, the best part is, I like the people that were defending Song of the South on Amazon because I looked at the reviews and there's
Yeah.
people that were talking. They're like, "Well, Song of the South, he actually was a happy plantation. He was happy to be on the plantation." Oh, ma'am, you lost the battle. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop.
I don't know. He was happy to not be a slave.
Well, yes, but would you like to go into that hell or this hell? Do I have a choice? It doesn't matter. But yes, when you ever start a defense of a issue as, well, he's happy to be there. Nope, we're done. You're done. Stop it. I can't wait for that.
Now I want to see this because
It's a book. It's a book, Jeff.
It's a
No, I want
book.
to see the movie Song of the South. I've never
You've
actually
never seen
watched
it?
it.
I probably
Well,
haven't
hell,
seen
I
it since I was
watched
a
it.
child.
I saw the Brer Rabbit short from it, but that's about it.
Oh,
Brer
God.
Bear and Brer Rabbit.
And Brer Fox.
I thought they were a happy bunch. That's all I remember when I was
It was a horrible,
child when I saw the
horrible
movie.
cartoon. Horrible show. Hated it.
Yeah. So
Moving
much
on.
for context. All right. Kevin at 365 Flicks Podcast. That's for our wankers across the pond who follow European football, not American football.
What's that?
And they really hate it when you call it European football.
That's really for the American listeners, not for them. What is your best dad joke?
A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. Bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here."
Baby seal walks into a club.
I don't get it.
Most of mine aren't funny. I'm told they're not funny anymore from my
That's what makes it good.
SJW college students.
Why did the Clydesdale give the pony a glass of water? Because he was a little horse.
I don't know why it has to be a Clydesdale doing it.
I don't know. How do you make a Kleenex dance? Put a little boogie in it.
Those aren't even dad jokes. Those were the stupid jokes that came out in the books in the 70s. or
Two
probably
peanuts were
before.
walking down the street. One was assaulted.
That's funny.
Get it salted.
Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?"
Sarah Jessica Parker says, "What are you talking about?"
And on that note, we're going to move on to Amy Whalen. Following bad dad jokes. All right, what is your favorite / least liked adaptation of a book into a movie? Now, this question leads me to think that it has to be my favorite, but yet least liked.
I think there's two, a favorite and a least
So
favorite.
she should have said, what is your favorite and least liked adaptation?
Sure.
Or it could have been and / or.
And or. Yes. And pretend the slash means and or.
Okay. Well, obviously, I think my first one, I can't wait to come to the big screen, is Hillary Rodham Clinton's, What Happened.
I think we played
Yeah.
that out in reality.
Yeah,
Really?
I think you actually have to see the movie before you can pick it.
Oh, okay.
No, I've seen the ending of this. It's okay. It's okay.
We're all screwed in the end no matter what.
Yes. Douche sandwich or giant turd or douche sandwich or whatever it was.
Shitburger or, yeah.
I like that much better.
Okay, thank you.
Giant turd or douche sandwich.
I did like Dry White Season. I was
Is that
not,
about toast?
No, it's about apartheid in Africa. Thank you very much. One of my favorite books. Not that great of a movie because it was made in, I think, the early 80s. Just wasn't very well done.
So you're saying that was one of your least liked adaptations?
So are you going to
into
say,
a movie, yeah.
Are you going to say
Yeah,
you're not going to play Sun City?
I'm not going to play Sun City.
I also did not. I love the Fahrenheit 451 book. The movie was not good.
Never saw the movie.
The movie was not good.
That'd be a hard one to... Well, actually, we're living in it now, so
That's right.
you don't need the movie.
So we're talking about least liked adaptations?
Yeah.
James Bond's book Moonraker.
Was that a good book?
It was a good book.
Really?
The movie was a piece
None
of
of the
crap that
movies-
didn't even
Oh, my
follow
God.
the plot.
I'm not.
None of the movies really... None of the movies
Casino
on the
Royale
James
did.
Bond books. They're all...
I didn't know he made Moonraker like as a book.
It's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just a title, name of the characters, and a vague resemblance to the plot.
It's like Lord of the Rings.
No, actually, Lord of the Rings is my favorite because you could have come up against a complete wall of haters. Peter Jackson releasing that movie as a big gamble because of the millions of fans of Tolkien and having in their minds what that book looks like. Fortunately, he nailed it.
The good news is Amazon paid $230 million for the rights to Lord of the Rings for their show, their network. The bad news is they only have $6,000 for the rest of the series, so it's going to be really bad. It's like a community
They're
play.
using
could be pencil
popsicle
sketches.
sticks,
Pencil sketches.
popsicle stick dummies, or puppets.
And then they walked.
We got 18 more seasons of
And
this.
they kept walking. And they walked some more. Look, a tree.
They just take a picture of a forest. There's the trees.
Don't be a
I'm Tom
model.
Bombadil. Hello, kitties.
Fahrenheit.
So Tom Bombadil, you think he's like Kevin Spacey could play him?
Oh my gosh. Tom Bombadil.
Come on, you children-looking people come into
hobbits.
my tree?
Hi, guys! It's a good thing they're all boy hobbits.
Who's that archer? Get her away.
What do you mean? Who's that? Jeez, oh, Pete. It's-
Well, one of my
Legolas is a male.
Oh, was it? I didn't know.
I think he was referring to from The Hobbit, Evangeline Lilly's character.
She wasn't even in the fucking book.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe he wasn't referring to.
You know what?
Legolas.
Yeah, hold on a second. My favorite could be Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. My least favorite could be
Peter
Jackson's The Hobbit.
I can see that.
Actually, I'm liking that more and more now. Those are my answers.
Well, I'll say my favorite. I have to go with the classic To Kill a Mockingbird. Great classic book, great classic movie. Did it justice.
Yeah.
Okay. 50 Shades of Grey is my favorite book, favorite movie.
Yeah, I know that's not true.
No.
There you go.
What else we got?
All right, from Sean at Pittsburgh Nerd. When you watch Riverdale, do you feel the need to dress like a 14-year-old girl too?
Don't ask me what I do on Thursday nights.
Well, I'm curious. Does that mean Sean has the need to dress like a 14-year-old
Tuesday
girl?
night. I forget what.
And is asking if you also do? Is that what he's asking?
No, he's not asking me. He's asking if Jason does.
Well, yeah, the person who watches
Yes.
it.
Riverdale's beautiful.
But he's admitting that he dresses like a 14-year-old girl when he watches it. Is that what I'm
You know
getting
what? If that's what gets
from
you into
this?
character for Riverdale, I'm fine with that.
I'm just curious because
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that.
no, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep moving on. Sean, it's a great show. Exotic Geek knows it.
All right, from the Pop Culture Cafe. How many people will bitch that after seeing The Last Jedi that it is the same as Empire?
Two
Now, hold
people
on.
bitch.
Was he
One of
talking
them's at
about-
this table.
Hold on a second. Was he talking about Empire, the TV show?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
going to be exactly
Really?
like that.
Oh my God! When did this music mogul thing come into the play?
But
From the cantina?
Is Terrence Howard going to get fired from another franchise?
Oh, he meant Empire Strikes Back.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, and then next one we got from
Besotted Geek?
Besotted Geek.
Yeah.
Said everyone complain about Apocalypse being too purple now. Thanos isn't purple enough. Why is purple such a perplexing pigment?
Why is it a perplexing pigment, Jeff?
I don't know.
Everybody's bitching about Apocalypse being too
purple?
Yeah, too
And now
grape.
Thanos comes out and he's not purple
The
enough.
problem
so-
is now everybody's putting the face of Thanos on everything as memes.
Yeah.
And I saw the one where he's on the pawn shop, Pawn Stars. He's the main guy, and he has the he has
I
the
saw
shirt on, and now I can't get that out of my head. Every time I see the trailer, I'm like,
pretty funny.
son of a bitch! He's looking at the Infinity Gauntlet. He's like, best I can do is $25.
That was
And he's
pretty
got
funny.
the shirt on and everything. I was like, son of a bitch! You have now taken this character not to mean anything. Damn it!
You know, you should trademark, purple, such a perplexing pigment.
TM.
Yeah.
Alliteration there. Great stuff.
I did see another funny meme today. There was a little thing online. It was a snowman, and it was snowing in front of him, and he's like, "It's raining my flesh." Oh, that's kind of funny.
Not good.
What else we got with Dev?
Then we got from Dev, Big Dev, from Michigan.
Oh,
He says, with the LA premiere reviews of Last Jedi calling it one of the greatest movies ever made, do you think that it might convince me that it is anything other than an Empire Strikes Back rehash?
there's your two people complaining, Blake and Dev.
I don't think it'll be able to convince you because once you get it in your mind, you're not going to change. Maybe Dev will. I don't think Blake will.
Snooki's going to be awesome in it. I love Snooki. She's going to take off her robe.
You keep making that joke, and I'm getting tired of you making
It is Snooki.
jokes.
Snooki. That's just because you hated the Jersey Shore.
Oh, I despise the Jersey Shore.
She's got like two kids now.
I mean, we
Oh, no, that's right. We are changing because he looks like Hugh Hefner now. That is true after last week.
because who looks like you?
Snook.
Oh,
Snook does look like Hugh Hefner. He has a bathrobe on in the previews.
Snook Daddy.
see, I wouldn't know because I refuse to watch the previews.
I've seen the two. Every time it's on TV, I switch. No, I can't see it. So, But
Did
no,
that answer Dev's question?
yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be, they're going to have
gonna be awesome.
a
Shut up.
super Star Destroyer.
Shut up.
whatever.
Shut up.
Super Cumulus Cloud City.
We do have a listener review.
Listener review from Pam Morris. She says, I'm almost done with Inhumans. I agree. It's crap. It had promise, but was so poorly executed. Even Maximus was bad acting, and I loved him in Game of Thrones as Ramsay.
100% spot on.
Was it cool when he used his voice?
No.
Wasn't?
He only did it like twice.
Well, no, but at the end when he did it.
No.
Okay.
I mean, he...
Did he have a cool uniform costume?
No, they really didn't
Ugh.
have... Any costume they had...
It didn't look like this, the little Funko guy.
They kind of gave him a jacket that kind of looked like that. And
Oh.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
Oh,
And he didn't have like the hood or anything like that. So
great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Huh.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marvel,
All right.
for Inhumans.
Great.
yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. I suppose it's better that they didn't do the movie if that was if the movie was going to be anything like the television.
Supposedly
show.
Vin Diesel was pushing hard to be Black Lightning. That would have been interesting.
Black
I would have been
Lightning's not in it. Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, not Black Lightning. That's the TV show on CW.
Yes.
Okay, what else we got, Blake? Wrap it up.
Then from Professor Number One and Doctor Number One says, what do you think of the Watchmen being in stories with the regular DC heroes?
Don't like it.
Okay, why?
It's
Nope,
kind
nope,
of its
don't
own
like it.
universe where the things that happen in the history of the Watchmen universe are completely different than what happened in any other DC storyline. All the bad things that happened wouldn't happen if Superman was around to save the day all the time. Superman would have had to have followed the Registration Act or all those other things that made superheroing illegal. I mean, just conflicting backstories that...
It confuses me with alternate history.
There's definitely an alternate history. That's mainly because they didn't want to insult Ronald Reagan while he was president. So they made it Richard Nixon.
They did. I'm okay with it, I guess. I don't know. Why not? It's just going to be written out anyways because Bendis is taking over. So he's going to take over DC Universe and probably rewrite everything. Which, at this point, who knows?
Well, you see all the changes they're making about the DC universe. They're, not really fixing it. They're just shit-canning people and moving things around.
Well, that's the film. And they're doing the same thing in the DC comics.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Because there's no overlining. There's no overbearing vision of what to do and where to take it.
At this point, they need to use Flashpoint as a reboot and just be done with it. And get rid of...
And come in and make a great Wonder Woman series and as your basis for your...
Yes. Let Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins do everything.
And
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comics.
The more
Well, that could work too.
the more scantily clad Amazons.
Yeah. Does Wonder Woman have a sister we can give her?
Yeah. Wonder Girl.
Bring her in too.
Girl, but could she be like borderline illegal?
Could she be a stripper? I'm not saying Harvey Weinstein's funding this, but he's funding it.
I can't do any voices because I'm still a little sick.
Never stopped me before.
I know. It never stopped you.
Yeah, actually, Jason's impersonations got better when he was sick.
Oh, no.
Okay, so that is your listener feedback. This is our interview with Dom Lenore and Matt. So let's hookings that would be. So enjoy and thanks. Now you guys are making a film called Winter Ridge. You actually guys are completed with it, correct? Are you in the editing bay now?
No, we're past the editing. We've got a completed film, so it's all very exciting to get that post out of the way and getting sort of really good feedback from a few select people that we've shown.
Good.
We just delivered. We just finished the delivery, the final delivery this week, actually. So we've got a few exciting things happening with the film already. We've got a deal in place in China, which is great. Sales agent on board, and we've got quite a few things coming up next year for it. So.
And then, is it going to be it's being released in the UK in January, correct?
Yeah, early next year we should have various releases sort of going out around the world. It's all kind of staggered, just in different territories. But it's looking good for that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got the release. The release in the UK will probably be closer to February, but we may actually have a sneak preview for a release happening in the US at some point. So
oh, great.
See how that develops.
Yeah. Very excited about getting the American audiences behind the film, because we've kind of developed it for with that kind of aesthetic in mind, and I think the audiences might dig it.
Yeah, and I saw you let me see the trailer for it, and I'll let you guys describe it a little bit better than I can. But it is really well done. It's beautifully shot, and I think it's funny because like anytime you watch anything from the UK or anything like that, your scenery is great. You don't get that as much in the US with the rolling hills and that, and it's beautifully shot. I enjoyed the trailer. Can you tell us what Winter Ridge is about? Just kind of give a synopsis of it.
It is a detective thriller about a guy whose wife gets into an accident at the start of the film, and he goes on a journey of grief, kind of in self-discovery of himself, as he starts to uncover a series of crimes that are taking place to do with the elderly. So it's kind of a twin narrative to do with like a detective thriller and a guy who's like trying to do what's best for what's happening around him.
And the killer's targeting elderly people. How did you guys come up with that little twist on it? You don't see that often. It's usually the killer's always going after 20-year-olds and millennials and that. So how did you come up with that little twist?
Well, that kind of came from the writer. Originally, it's to do with kind of Alzheimer's and dementia and kind of degenerative diseases, and it kind of comes down to that kind of theme. And we wanted to kind of touch on something that was a bit more thoughtful than just a guy who's just being just a killer on the loose, or that kind of vibe.
Okay. Yeah, the sort of it's almost like the killer tries to justify why he's going on this hunt. So it's kind of I think that's the first thing that obviously interested me was the interesting take on this, and obviously the idea of loneliness and elderly is quite topical in the news and stuff. So and we didn't see much that had been done that related to this. So it's quite interesting to tackle those themes and go ahead. And the location you mentioned, I think that that was a big selling point for me. Dom took me down to the location and said, Matt, just come down and see it, see what you think. And it was amazing. I mean, it reminded us of like somewhere in Switzerland or Canada. It's got that very sort of atmospheric feel to it. Had foreboding rivers and different stuff. So it's very, very different to what the sort of the stereotype of the UK is, and that's the kind of direction that Dom wanted to go in, which was what attracted people to the film, because it's a British film, but it has a very like I said, an international kind of feel to it that could be set almost anywhere.
It came across. And I hate to do this because a lot of Americans always go to this show, but it seemed very Broadchurch-like the way it was shot in that. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, the murder one. I mean, the detective show, it came over on America on BBC, and it is one of my favorite detective shows of all time. That first season was amazing.
I mean, Broadchurch is obviously very popular, and I think it's a fine line, because obviously it is, we've made a feature film, not a TV series. Sure. But, obviously TV is so high quality now. And like you said, Broadchurch, things like Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, they're all super popular, and they're being made very well. So I think that it's finding that fine line where people take out the positives and think, there's elements of that relate to Broadchurch and things like that. But obviously, keeping it, we've kept it very cinematic as well, and kept it sort of.
I mean, Broadchurch kind of has a kind of a coastal setting. It's a lot to do with the characters and the drama. So that's definitely an element that we brought through, because there is some very strong sort of characters and emotional sort of themes coming through. But then something that we've kind of gone outside of that Broadchurch, and like that was a big influence for us, is kind of getting that kind of Prisoners, Insomnia, Wind River kind of epic. We're in a remote landscape. We've got action going on. We've got, a big orchestral score. We've got like big shadows and, impressive lighting. So all that kind of stuff kind of brings it up out of the TV world and into something like much bigger.
Yeah, just from the trailer, and no offense to Broadchurch, like I said, it's one of my favorite detective shows, but you definitely had more action in your trailer than Broadchurch did in the whole first season.
Yeah, there's a bit of action. I mean, we pulled in a lot of favors as well, and like Dom was just talking about then, we our sound designer is Glenn Fremantle, who he won an Oscar for Gravity. He's done all of Danny Boyle's films, so we've got that epic
soundscape.
Yeah, soundscape that kind of fills the atmosphere and fills the location. And the same, we had a fantastic cinematic composer that really any elements that we thought were sort of sitting around high-end TV, we brought them out and took them to a different direction using the music, using the sound, using the grade. So it's quite interesting. And there is a lot of action in the trailer. I think that the action is quite nicely paced. There's a big sort of moment at the beginning, and then it's paced out through the middle and obviously at the end. So it's it's structured quite well, and the film seems to be getting a lot of attention, which is great. And obviously we haven't even released the trailer yet, so it's quite interesting that we've been having such good response already.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, I've watched it several times, and I thought it was very well done. Now, Matt, you not only are in it, you're the lead. You're also. How did you come into this film? Like, how did you feel like this is how you wanted to portray your character, your main character?
So I mean, Dom first. Me and Dom go back about 5 or 6 years, and he directed the first film that I wrote. I started writing about 5 or 6 years ago, and he jumped on board and directed the first film that we did together, which a couple of years ago now. So he brought me the project. Said he thought I'd be great for the part and stuff, and obviously there was other aspects that I could bring in place in terms of the producing, because I run my own production company as well. So it was kind of a win-win, and then obviously we sat down and delved a little bit further into this character, and like you said, we looked at things like Prisoners and Casey Affleck's character in Manchester by the Sea, just to try and tap into quite sort of internal emotions within a character and several things that's going on, because my character has, as Dom says, his wife's in a car accident very early on, and then he's fighting to try and find out what's going on with this case. And, it's back and forth. So there's a lot of things going on in his mind, and that changes and develops and has an arc to it throughout the film. So obviously, as an actor, that's it's a great role to play. And the research I did, I kind of watched a lot of documentaries and a few film references. But every night we'd finish, I'd go and watch like a true crime detective story, because I think part of the thing was we never rested on the shoot, and that seems to be the mindset of these detectives and people that get into these things. They don't rest, or don't.
Your mind's always on it. Yeah.
You don't really sleep until it's solved, or until at least you're settled. So it was quite challenging because I was involved in the elements of the producing, and we had a very tight schedule and budget. But in hindsight, it kind of brought out quite dramatic moments.
And it was very rewarding actually working together on it, because there were certain elements like the detective investigation that Matt did a lot of his own research, and there was a lot of ideas that we kind of worked on together and like really developed a character, mostly kind of towards the grief side of things, and sort of bringing out the drama. So there was a kind of like a very three-dimensional character that we kind of worked on together. And I think that's why, as a lead, he sort of carries the film quite successfully, because we put such a lot of time into that process.
And Matt, if you were watching two true crime documentaries and that, I've gone down that rabbit hole, never for acting, but just for it, how awful is that you just keep watching more and more of them because you get hooked on them so easily? And just how people tick.
It's crazy. I mean, the good thing, the good news is I've always been a fan. Before I wanted to act, I kind of wanted to delve into forensic science. So I used to watch these a lot. But it does, I mean, my brain was absolutely fried by the end of the day. We'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting home at 10 o'clock at night. So to then watch one, I was watching one from like 10 till midnight or 1 a.m. and then back up at 6. So yeah, it was interesting, and it is, every case is different. You know, I was watching a lot of the extreme stuff, so it just, my mind never rested basically, and it was it was quite crazy. But
I've talked about it on the podcast before. Like I said, my big thing is missing cases, how people just vanish, and you're right. Like I said, I mean, you go down a rabbit hole, and after a while, your brain is fried from it. And like I said, this is just for my personal life. I'm just like looking at it just to the mystery of it, and I couldn't even imagine doing that after acting all day and doing that shooting and that, and then coming home and doing it. I mean, it is draining for you. So
I think the mystery side of it is great, and the cases that come back up. 30, 40 years later or whatever, and it's like, wow, it's it's redigging everything, and then they find out new stuff. And I think that part of the story with Winter Ridge is that there is an underlying factor that this has been going on a long time. So even though we jump into it quite new and quite fresh, by the end of the story you think, oh god, they've been doing that for a long time. So it's hard without giving too much away about the film, because there's an element of the film that is, it'll kind of explain exactly what I'm referring to, but we can't really give that away because it's the main sort of the main
hook.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Killing, like the US version? Because like that was really interesting to do with like. I mean, it takes 2 series to find out what really happened to this girl. And I found the drama surrounding the community and like, what happened around how this could possibly occur. And because obviously you see someone go missing and it could be 100 reasons. But I found that kind of really interesting. And that was kind of, it had an influence on the drama elements of this as well.
Yeah, and The Killing is one of those that it gets into your mindset that the killer is actually secondary. Obviously you want to solve the mystery in that.
Yeah.
But the community is the biggest thing, and how everybody interacts. And in America, I'm not sure how it was. It was funny because they never said who did the killing, who was the murderer at the end of the first season, and the backlash over in America was like extraordinary. I've never saw it. I thought they killed Han Solo again. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, there was a lot of kind of backlash over that and divided opinions. But to me, like the whole reason that second season had like such emotional weight was because you'd waited so long and you'd seen like for such a big period of time like what it had done to everyone. And actually, like I don't think it would have been the same had it finished on the first season. So I'm actually like a strong advocate of what they did with that series. With that.
That was one of the shows that after you get done watching, you have to turn on like cartoons or something just to
yeah.
Now, Dom, you've done, obviously this is not the first movie that you've been involved in that. Can you tell us how you kind of got to this point with Winter Ridge, like some of your earlier stuff, and just how you got into film in general?
Well, I mean, I guess I started off, I was a big fan of kind of films growing up, books, always had quite an imagination. So it kind of started off with that, like big things like sort of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, kind of inspired me when I was younger. Then I kind of moved more into, I started doing a bit of my own filmmaking, sort of skate videos, that kind of thing. Started doing thrillers at university, more long form films. And it just kind of fell into it because it was something I was so passionate about, and stories and people just always kind of called to me. So I made sort of longer form stuff, and then I started making sort of higher production shorts. I did a couple of international kind of shorts, and obviously the first film that Matt and I worked together on. And by the time
in the States, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, and by the time we had a really good festival run with that actually, and it got into a festival in like Hollywood, Florida, which it won an accolade award for, which was really good. But it kind of just been a bit by bit process, really, just making sort of bigger and bigger projects. I've never sort of believed in compromising or saying no, you can't do this because we don't have the budget, or we don't have the we can't go to this place, or the time, or the crew. So by the time we got to Winter Ridge, it just felt like the natural progression to make a feature at this kind of level, after the kind of shorts and quality of stuff that we were trying to put out before then.
Who were who were some of the directors that influenced you growing up?
Well, I guess people like James Cameron were sort of early on. Obviously, sort of George Lucas with the whole Star Wars thing, like the earlier ones. As I actually, the thing that actually got me into directing rather than sort of filmmaking was Clint Eastwood. And I remember I was at uni and I watched Mystic River, and I think that was the first film where I was like really inspired by what a director had done with his choices. I thought it was a very powerful film, and again, it was kind of going back to crime. It's kind of a crime that has a real kind of sentimental edge with just how it's affected a family, and actually there was a much darker, sort of deeper, grittier theme at the core of it with these guys' childhoods, which really kind of grabbed me. And I mean, he obviously had an amazing run with that. Gran Torino, $1 Million Baby, which is one of my favorite films. And just that kind of as a direction style really sort of got me into wanting to actually direct.
You just said $1 Million Baby is one of my favorite. Why is that?
Yeah. I think it's just such an honest story. It's kind of a rags to riches tale. It's inspiring. It's got hope. It's kind of changing people that have become stuck in their ways. It's heartbreaking as well. It's just kind of got everything that I think is good in a film. It's got drama. You can relate to people, and it makes you think. And it's inspiring as well. And those are kind of things that I want to create in my work.
Matt, who influenced you growing up?
I think I'm probably a little bit different. I think my influences are a lot sort of way back to sort of the 1940s, 1950s. Big fan of Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Paul Newman, Marlon Brando, those kind of guys in their early films. So a lot of film noir, a lot of I don't know. I mean, a lot of The Third Man, Orson Welles, stuff like that. Because I think that I studied drama and film at university, and a lot of the modern day films, not all of them do this, but there's this reliance on budget or post or visual effects and all this kind of stuff. And those characters and those actors back in the day, obviously the system was different, but they didn't rely on any of that. The stories to me were more powerful, I think, and the characters were more sort of defined because that's all they had. They had to get that right. They couldn't go, oh, well, don't worry, we'll put some visual effects in, or we'll do this. Yeah. So I think that come from that kind of route. And then I still really like still big fans of Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, those kind of guys as well. I think that some of the films that they've done are absolutely amazing. So I think definitely Humphrey Bogart, even James Dean, Rebel Without Cause. On the Waterfront, those kind of films, big influences in terms of how I like to sort of approach projects, I suppose. And
you've kind of, Matt, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but you've been in big budget films from Kingsman to Edge of Tomorrow to anything like that. But what is the difference between the bigger budgets and, I don't want to say small budgets, but like the not as big budget, I guess you could say? What is the big thing about it, and which one do you prefer?
Well, I think that the first thing that's clear is that I played the first thing that was different. I played a much smaller part in the big budget films than I have done in something like Winter Ridge. So your influence is a lot less. Some of the days I would turn up and the whole system's in place, and they've been shooting for 20-30 days. So you do your thing, and then you're off home. So I mean that's kind of what inspired me to set up my own production company, because you step onto these $100 million sets, and you actually go, well, wait, there's not, they're still making the same mistakes that maybe you would make on a smaller budget, or the acting's not mind blowing, or this or that. And it's not to say that those films you mentioned were like that, because some of them were really great. You just pick out these little moments. You think, actually, well, that could be something that that I could do, or that we could do, and it kind of inspires you in a way, because you think it doesn't matter about the money. You can, as long as you put your passion and creativity into the art, you can still bring out really great results. So I mean, obviously the learning experience and being around some really high professionals, people like Tom Cruise and like you mentioned, like Kingsman and Maleficent. It was really sort of admirable to watch, learn from it. But I think that I don't know. I quite like it, the independent stuff, because everyone's there for thriving off the passion and making the best job. Sometimes the biggest budget stuff can fall into that system of
that mercenary kind of vibe.
Yeah.
People aren't necessarily there because like they truly believe in your project. Which sometimes it has to be on indie stuff because you don't have the same kind of resources. And people do come to you because of the quality of your work, and that is what sells it. And then that obviously reflects in the results, and that's why you get some like absolutely incredible sort of indies coming out.
Let me ask you this, and the only reason I'm doing this is because this is what the world I know is with podcasting and that, especially independent podcasting. We always call ourselves professional amateurs, and basically because everybody's learning this, as obviously as you saw with the tech thing, we've been doing over 200 episodes and we still have tech issues come up like today. But in the podcast world, it surprised me when my partners started doing this, that everybody is friendly to each other. And outside of the major, unless you have a famous comedian, famous, huge actor, your show is, from the ground up, just trying to gain traction. And, some of our best friends, 365 Flicks podcast, Kevin and Chris,
those guys were great. We did really enjoyed our podcast with them.
Yeah, and they actually even flew over to Cincinnati in September. Yeah, because we're sponsored by a comic expo here, and they actually flew over, and we were doing recordings all 3 days at the expo, and they flew over to see us. And it's just this, like, everybody helps each other in the independent scene, obviously, in the podcast. Is that very similar to, like, the independent film industry? Obviously, you're all trying to get, your film shown and recognized, but is there a lot more cohesiveness in that and friendliness as opposed to the big budget?
I mean,
yes and no.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, first of all, like, I don't know. Generally, Americans are very friendly, and the doors are a lot more open. And even if you are, even if they say no in the end, they'll give you the opportunity to come in and speak. Here in the UK, it's a very tight circle, and it's very difficult to get into that circle. And if you're in, then you're in. Great. But someone could have an absolutely amazing film or idea or even finished product, and it'd still be difficult to get through the door. So I think that definitely the independent level, there's a huge amount of support. And even we just released a behind the scenes video of how we made the film, and it's 15 minutes long. Not everyone's got that sort of time just to sit down and watch 15 minutes of how a film's made, and we've had some amazing response from it. We've had, I think, close to like 25,000 views, and it was only released last week. So the independent circuit is very, very supportive, because if people keep supporting each other in the independent circuit, as soon as you're on the rise and you go to the next level, then people tend to like to work with the same people, or at least very much open to working with new people. So it is very supportive on one level. I think that there also is a level where there's an element of there's an element of stubbornness, and people don't want to
don't want to give new people a chance, and it's not always down to the quality of your work. The reason we sort of get like high level sort of cast and crew on board our projects is because they can see that actually we kind of do know what we're doing, even if we haven't sort of made it at the level that they've possibly worked at themselves. But then there's other people in the industry, and they'll just sort of look at you and they'll just be like, well, yeah, I don't really want to take a chance on this. We'll go with something easy. And it might not. A lot of the time, it's just not even better projects. It's just something that's
just an easier fit. Yeah,
it's just an easier fit, and that's a big problem. And that's why we sort of have pushed so hard to get our own projects off the ground, because we want to make good quality stuff. We don't want to just be sort of fitting into a box for the sake of getting funded.
Yeah, and the thing is, the sort of difference that we've done it, it's inspiring but frustrating at times, because we haven't had any support from, like, any of the sort of local funding or the
Major funding bodies,
the film institutions here. So it has been very much completely, off our own back, which I think at some point we will tap into that funding. So I think that it's a mix. I think that it's supportive when it suits, and then sometimes it's quite difficult. But I don't know.
I think ultimately you just attract people with the right mindset, and it doesn't matter what level in the industry you're at. If they can sort of see an element of their work ethic in you, that's kind of, I think, how we've built up like a good network of cast and crew, and that's why we find it really rewarding working with the kind of people that we do, and why they in turn enjoy working with us.
I'm actually just kind of surprised that you guys said Americans are usually friendly. Have you seen?
Come to London.
It's. I mean, I'll give you an example. If I know a few American agents, which if I email them, they'll respond. They'll respond. It doesn't even if they say, Matt, I'm busy, bugger off. They'll respond, and that's fine for me to go, okay, boom, I don't need to give them a week or whatever and go back in. Whereas the UK, you won't even get a response, so you don't know if they've looked at it, you don't know what's going on, you don't know this, you don't know that. And I mean, look, it's not everyone, and it's not sort of completely that way. But I think that there is an element of struggle where there feels like there's a very tight circle, and if you're in that circle, great. If you're not, then it's very difficult to get in.
I would advise you to avoid any American news, the government, and that would be good. Everyone else is usually friendly.
Yeah. Well, there's different industries. The film industry itself is, it's quite a friendly industry, I think, in general. Generally, the artistic industry, as a whole, is probably friendly because people understand the sort of sacrifice and risk you do just for making art, and it doesn't always reward you. It doesn't always make money. It doesn't always do the things that other normal businesses do. So it's quite. I suppose it's quite different to that. But Americans are friendly. I don't know. You don't.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good experience with Americans. We know.
You don't think?
We appreciate that.
What's your intake?
We've been beaten down in the world lately, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Now, how long did Winter how long did it take from idea to the end? And I won't say the end, but to completion of the finished product. Did it take everything?
It was very, very, very short. I kind of brought the project to Matt sort of September, October. We got the film off the ground from there, and by the time we were in April, we were shooting. So that's like an unheard of kind of time frame, and that's just because we absolutely
scripts to deliver. When did we deliver?
And we delivered sort of pretty much October. So again, like a really intense sort of post-production period. But
I suppose script to delivery 1 year, and then what we're trying to do is obviously. From delivery to distribution within 6 months, which we're on track for. So we wanted it to be because the funding's come from kind of our own avenues. Our own avenues. And we've got some private investors that we encourage to invest. Like I said, it's not public funding or film institute money. We wanted to make a very we wanted to show what we could do in with the lowest amount of money in almost the quickest time possible, but again, without sort of losing that quality. So for us, it's very much a springboard to, okay, what's next? And we've got quite a few things lined up. So it's a very sort of...
we've got an exciting kind of slate of films ahead, and I think this is a really good calling card, not just as an indie film, but to sort of show that we can do something that's quite high production value. And that, obviously that term's thrown around quite a lot, but obviously if you look at the trailer, we have kind of really pushed for that kind of feel.
We'd love to do what sort of, in the same sort of marketing and distribution that like God's Own Country's doing, where it's an independent film, but it's just making waves, making waves on an international presence.
So what is I think I know the answer to this, but I still have to ask, what's easier, shooting the film, getting that, the editing and all that, or going out and getting the distribution and meeting with everybody?
Well, first of all, the funding of the film is definitely the hardest.
Okay.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
The shooting is definitely the most fun. Even though it's weird because I don't know how to kind of pitch this.
The difficulty is the same. You just have less time pressures, I guess, after. I mean, the shoot to me just kind of it felt like you've done films that are sort of longer form. You've done stuff that's shorter. You just have to break it down to like, right, I've got to do this scene now. Okay, I've got to do these bunch of scenes in this time period. Okay, now I've made the day. Then you're just sort of doing that day at a time. Obviously, you've got to link everything together, but it's just an expansion of what you've already done, and it feels quite instinctive when you're in it. Whereas, the struggle to get it funded is obviously like, as Matt said, like one of the major sort of pressures.
There's a lot of when you're funding it, there's a lot of waiting around, and you feel like you are working a lot to try and get it funded, but there's a lot of waiting around. When you're on set and you're shooting, you're working a lot harder, but you're enjoying it, and then that's when it becomes natural. And it kind of, I don't want to say easy, but it's like, right, okay,
very organic.
Yeah, we're here now. We know what we're doing. Yeah. And then the distribution side, I think that the distribution side is probably in between both. It's going to be it's quite hard to sort of make sure that you've got the right sales agent and you're going to all the right festivals and markets, and then making sure the film is marketed and sold in sort of the best way possible for the project and for obviously the distribution. So the great thing is we've got a few options lined up, and there's been a few things that's been happening already with the film. Like I said, we've already done a deal in China, which is quite hard to get to get sold in China. So that's a great thing. So we'll be looking ahead to like I said, a very early release next year, and it'll probably go to Berlin, and probably it may even do a little run at Cannes as well if we can get some.
That would be nice. That would be great. Now,
we had a good run in Cannes actually. We just finished the film. We got a teaser trailer out in time to go there, and it went down really well. So it would be nice to go back again this year.
What genre do you guys prefer? Or have you not done yet that you would like to do? Let's say that even.
I prefer like true stories and drama related stuff, just because that's kind of the slate that kind of been developing and got lined up. I probably least prefer horror, but obviously it's something that I'll probably say that now, and then in the future I'd like to do horror just for the sake of trying to reinvent it and do it something really, really different, in the sense of like, when The Shining first came out or something like that. But that's my least kind of favorite.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page on that one. I'm not sort of a massive fan of horror. I mean, I kind of like big stories, so tales of like journeys. I quite like sort of doing period time stuff.
He likes epic stuff like Brokeback Mountain.
Stuff with like a good kind of journeys. Good for me. Sci-fi would be cool to do at some point as well. I definitely want to shoot in the States. That's a sort of a big goal of mine as well. I really like the kind of the landscape and the kind of the culture. So maybe going back in time and sort of shooting something that's sort of set in the 80s in North America would be very sort of interesting to me. But it's all down to the story, really. Like, genre kind of is transcended by the quality of the story and the characters.
The script. I think it's always to do with script and how good the material is.
If you wanted to do a time travel piece, Dom, you could come to Cincinnati because we're about 20 years behind everything. So
that's a great pun. That should be the slogan when you first enter. Come to Cincinnati because we're 20 years behind.
Mark Twain actually wrote about Cincinnati back in his day and said pretty much something similar. I can't remember the exact quote, but we're about 50 years behind everybody.
Why did you say that though? Why is that?
Cincinnati is a very conservative town, and change does not happen quick here, which is good and bad. We have we're steeped in tradition a lot here. And so it's kind of nice. We're very Midwestern in that aspect of it. So it's frustrating, especially for the younger people, because they want change here, now. And it just doesn't happen. And again, though, I mean, I love the city and that, but it is very slow to change. And like I said, hopefully Chris and Kevin thought we were the friendliest place they've been, which we pride a lot on that, but we are very slow to change.
I told you. I think you should come to London. It's friendly.
And I'm actually outside of, since I'm a little bit more in the country and that, so we're really slow to change out here with everything. Now,
there's bits of England like that. There's bits of England like that as well. I guess London is quite progressive and it is quite fast moving, so it's it's kind of a hub in a sense. But yeah, there's definitely areas in England that are different sort of thoughts going on and ideas.
Well, we get a decent amount of, shockingly, a lot of, not a lot, I would say at least 2 to 3 films a year shooting here. And I think a lot of it is because of the architecture in that. But, I mean, it's always surprising to me because we're not one of the biggest cities in the country, but we do get a decent amount of actual major film shooting here. It always kind of surprises me. And I work, when you go downtown Cincinnati, there's, every couple months there's at least a road closure because there is a shooting, actual film shooting. So it's kind of funny. But what is your favorite television show now? Do you guys have time for any of that?
For me, probably going to go with Westworld.
Okay.
Just because it's Nolan's kind of writing in it is just absolutely brilliant, and it's such a complex, multi-layered idea. And when you sort of go into sci-fi, some of my favorite sci-fis are where you kind of use the setting and the world and the concept to explore like human minds sort of even further than you sort of normally would. And Anthony Hopkins in it, and a lot of the main cast actually are just spectacular. Both from a sort of a performance sort of standpoint and especially kind of from the writing. So that's a really fascinating sort of show for me.
Did you ever see the original?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Oh, I don't know if it would hold up a lot. Growing up, we didn't have cable, and so it was always on the local channels every weekend. So my brothers and I were huge fans of it. And then to see what HBO Nolan did with it, is completely, I mean, still some aspects there, but it is completely different. And Westworld is actually one of our favorite shows on the podcast. We talk about that all the time.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautifully shot, and this writing is unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, other than that, like obviously sort of Stranger Things, I'm a big fan of. I kind of like the nostalgia and the 80s vibe. So yeah, I mean, those are probably the two recently that I've sort of got stuck into. I haven't really been watching that much of late. I watched, is it Mindkiller, the Fincher series, like Mindhunter?
Yes.
Yeah, that was really interesting. And it is fascinating seeing sort of TV becoming quite sort of dark and intellectual these days. Aggression.
Did you catch up on the Stranger Things 2 this year?
Of course.
Okay. Could you explain, and we've been asking about this on the podcast, could you explain to me why the hell you would keep that lizard? That little lizard thing? Why would you keep that? That's a bad idea.
I don't know what's going on in that kid's head, to be honest. I guess there's a message in finding some kind of good in anything. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. It's a crazy little creature, I guess, turned into like an absolute demon hound.
It started off quite cute, so you just, I don't know. I suppose I would have kept it.
Innocence of kids, I guess.
Yeah. We always joke about that. That is not a good idea if you have an unknown creature. Yeah, it looks cute, but it doesn't seem.
So Matt, what your TV?
Mine, I think. I mean, again, I haven't watched too much recently, but I do like Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
I thought Stranger Things was good as well, actually.
You like that one with Reese Witherspoon, don't you, as well?
Yeah, I did actually. Cheers, Don. Dickhead. I did actually like the one with Reese Witherspoon. I can't remember what it's called. Big Little Lies?
Yes. They actually just renewed it for a second season.
I did actually really like it. I'm trying to think what else.
Did you ever think of Kevin Can Wait? Do you guys have that over there with Kevin James?
No, I don't have that.
You don't want to. It is the bane of my existence every week.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of anything else. No, that's it. I mean, Yeah, again, TV. I'm still stuck in film land, so
Sure.
to watch TV is you need a lot of time. But I will. Yeah, I'll have to. What do you recommend? That's
Well, Westworld is actually my favorite. I love Westworld. I feel like the Mindhunter, I just started getting into that, and I really enjoy that. That is one of my favorites. If you guys, I don't know if you ever see it, with the Peaky Blinders and that. If you guys watch, it's very similar to Sons of Anarchy. Have you guys ever seen that? I don't know if that's imported over there or not.
We've seen. I mean, I've seen a little bit of Sons of Anarchy. I've watched. I'm mostly up to date with Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of Boardwalk Empire. Actually, like a massive fan of what they did with the sort of the characters and the world there. So yeah, I think we're on the same page there.
The Sons of Anarchy is a very slow burn. You do have to. It's 7 seasons, and like I said, if you skip the 3rd season, you're perfectly fine. Even though they go to Ireland, which is beautiful, the writing was not very well done in the 3rd season. But every other season's been great. But it is one of those that you need to watch. The 1st season doesn't really do its justice. You got to keep going for it.
right.
But that's actually one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, I need to have a look at that then. Sons of Anarchy and Westworld. I think my favorite is definitely Sopranos, though.
Okay. I've never gotten into that, and I wanted to. I just haven't had time.
It's such a big thing to get into, isn't it?
It's the only TV series I've watched. Like, I think I've done it like twice or 3 times now. Because every time you watch it, you learn something new about the characters, and it's quite. I've never really had that before with anything. So I think that. Yeah, it was just I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great.
I just feel like, especially with TV, there's so much, especially with digital, there's so much coming at you that when somebody, the big popular thing, you try to go watch that, and then it's already gone by the time I finish watching it.
Yeah,
it's like a year later.
So true.
I'll let you guys wrap up here. But Winter Ridge comes out. Do you guys have a date in America yet, or an idea for it yet?
Well, we may be having a screening of it in America in February.
Okay.
We won't say too much yet.
Sure, no, not a problem. In Cincinnati, I'm just going to throw that out there. It's not true, but I'm going to throw it out there.
Yeah, that's it. I'm doing like a different voice in Cincinnati. But it's definitely coming out early next year. So
yeah, keep an eye out for it.
And we're doing it. Like I said, the trailer's getting released very soon. We're going to be sort of full on with the marketing and press and social media side of it now. There's different things getting released almost every week now, which is great.
Yeah, and if you guys have anything, please let us know. We will be putting it up on Twitter and our Facebook page. We do a lot with our Facebook page, just with pop culture and trailers and everything else. So if you guys have anything, we would love to promote it, because, like I said, just from the trailer that I saw, I was intrigued by it. It looks really well done. So I'm excited to see it. But yeah, anything you guys want, we would be more than happy to help you guys out, because we enjoy it a lot.
Well, thank you very much.
Amazing. No, that's absolutely fantastic. And if we come over, we'll definitely stop by and say hello.
I appreciate that. You can bring Chris and Kev with you too.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Well, Matt, Dom, I appreciate it. And like I said, Winter Ridge comes out next year sometime. And look for Hobie, and we'll let you guys go now. Appreciate it.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much as well.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get you back to your podcasty goodness now in a minute.
First, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our marginally better podcast, the 365 Flicks podcast.
I am the Scottish Wiedenhoer Chris.
And I am the Pissy X video store clerk, Kev.
And we bring you the latest movie and TV news, reviews and rants.
All that and a bunch of top 5s that you really will not care about.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Libsyn and all other third-party podcasting apps.
And on top of all that, you'll get free access to our indie talk. You'll hear us speaking with directors, producers, actors, comic book creators and artists about their experiences.
Don't forget to drop us 5 stars and follow us on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
Told him not to go in the water.
It's time for Box Office Bombs.
All right, starting with Box Office Bombs, we have Just Getting Started. Do I know this movie?
This is the Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm. It's another, we take old aged male actors and try and put them in funny grandpa situations.
All right. Well, it bombed with $3.2 million in its opening weekend. Wow, I don't remember a wide release movie with that high level of actors only doing $3.2 million.
I feel like Tommy Lee Jones could have made The Fugitive 3, and it would have been better.
Probably. The film has a 9% ranking on Rotten Tomatoes and a C on CinemaScore. Isn't it almost impossible to get a C on CinemaScore?
I can't believe that they got a C on CinemaScore.
It's below B-.
Yeah, it is.
The film had a $22 million budget and most likely will not make its money back.
How low do you think it goes second week?
Oh, wow.
1.5? 2.1. I'm going 2.1.
Wow. I'm trying to, because what they normally say, at least
50.
a third drop off.
Usually it's 33 to 40%.
Yeah.
Big blockbusters are usually 50 to 60%.
Because everybody went in the first week. I could see $1.5 million in its next week.
I think that would be hilarious.
Although it's also going against, as we'll talk later, Star Wars opening week.
Yes.
So I don't know.
What else we got, Jeff?
The top 5 this week of the box office report. Number 1, Coco. Made another $18.5 million, a total of $135.5 on a budget of $175. Justice League made another $10 million, a total of $212 on its $300-ish million budget. Wonder, Jason's favorite movie,
Fuck this movie.
made another $9.5 million, a total of $100.5 million, on a budget of $20 million.
You're not seeing Star Wars. You're seeing Wonder.
I can't wait till Wonder 2 comes out, because with numbers like this, they got to make a sequel, right?
I can't even remember. What is Wonder about?
This is the kid that has the deformed face, and Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson are his parents, and everyone deserves a standing ovation. No, they don't! I applaud this kid for going through school and, awesome, because it's based on a real story. True story. Good for that. Good for him. I'm glad he overcame.
Now
This
you're
movie
making
looks
yourself
like
look like an asshole.
No, this movie looks like shit. It looks like a typical Hollywood. Oh, everybody has to feel good about each other. Shut up. Give me a better film.
Scrooge.
It's a tug at your heartstrings intentionally.
No, it's tug at my balls.
Tug at your ball strings?
With this bullshit.
Man, you're a horrible person.
I am a horrible person, but this is a horrible film.
And I thought I was the negative person on this one.
I am the positive one. This looks like shit. Go spend your money on Winter Ridge.
The Disaster Artist made $6.5 million in a limited release on a $10 million budget.
I like how that made more money than just getting started in a wide release.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see
That's the one about the making of The Room.
I want to see it.
The horrible movie.
Yeah, was it James Franco?
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau, or
And he's actually directing.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I saw the preview for that, and I didn't realize that was James Franco. At first, I thought, did they get Tommy Wiseau to make this movie? I mean, that's how well he looked in the preview, anyway. So I'll give him props for that.
So do you have to see the actual movie first before
I hope
going
not,
seeing The
because
Disaster Artist?
I haven't heard anything good about it. I don't know if I can sit through that movie without Crow and Tom Servo.
Crow?
And coming in at number 5, Thor: Ragnarok made another $6.5 million, a total of $301 million on a $180 million budget.
Okay. Thor is still up there. I'm impressed by it. Well done for it. I want to see how much it's made. Give me a second here.
You mean worldwide?
Yeah.
Well, I just told you it made $301 million.
Worldwide, I want to see what it made here. What do you think?
it.
What do you think?
I say triple it.
It is at...
It's big in Scandinavia.
Now, does worldwide include the U.S. box?
Yeah, it includes everything.
Okay.
Well, no, it doesn't actually. It's $532 million foreign.
Make sure we're differentiating between American theaters and European theaters.
Well, what about Chinese theaters?
Sure.
Yeah, it's made a total of $833 million worldwide.
Worldwide, 800.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, it was triple. It was about $900 million, so that's close. Close.
Better question. Let's see how much Justice League has made worldwide.
Ooh.
Justice League has made $614 million. It's only made $402 million worldwide.
But at least made its money back?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, $300 million plus you figure all the blah blah blah.
$150 million for
that
marketing.
didn't go over $600 million, did it? For all the other expenses?
I don't think so.
So at least, I mean, it wasn't a complete bomb like they lost their.
And here's the thing: Wonder has only made $29 million worldwide. What does the rest of the world know that America doesn't? A lot.
Those type of movies don't ever do well.
I know. Let's keep it that way. Let's learn from that, people.
We've got an entire channel on television dedicated to sappy movies. Hallmark Channel.
Oh, I was going to say AMC.
No. Hallmark. Hello, channel.
Are you okay?
I think I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a stroke? Murder on the Orient has made $181 million foreign, $92 million domestic. So good for that. I want to see that still.
I do too.
I really am intrigued to see that.
I need to get my movie pass, so just like next week I can just go every day and
see something.
Because there's at least 3 movies that I still want to see that are sitting in the theater that won't be there for long.
Are you thinking
Star Wars opening?
You think Roman J. Israel Esquire is one of them?
Roman J. Israel Esquire Jr. is not one of them.
So it's made $11 million this past week. After being out for a total of 4 weeks, it made $870,000. That's a bad week. That is a bad week.
Okay. That's Roman Esquire?
Yes, that's a Roman Esquire. Sorry. So.
You said it, so I thought, are you talking about
No,
it?
my bad. I am intrigued to see I, Tonya, the Tonya Harding one.
Oh, I am not.
I think that could be interesting.
Oh, no. Partly because at the time, with my name being Jeff, you know how many Jeff Gillooly jokes I've heard?
Oh, God. I actually forgot all his name until they brought it back up again. I was like, oh.
I don't think I'll ever forget his name. Between Jeff Gillooly and Jeffrey Dahmer, I've heard them all.
Just to let you know, Geostorm has made $144,000 this week.
I didn't know it was still in the theaters.
It didn't either. It made $207 million total. $174 million foreign. Okay, now here we go, world. What the fuck do we know that you don't know about this film? Come on. Let's help here, people.
I thought you knew. Action things blowing up go good within the rest of the world.
I guess.
Sentimental and comedies, not as much.
Let's see here. I just want to see what the last film is. The Sacrifice. Made $40 this week.
40. Wow.
In one theater. Last week it was in 2 theaters.
Yeah.
And it lost 97% in 2 weeks.
Duh, $40. I mean,
so what was that? $80 it made last week. Porta made $58. It has a plus 625%.
So it went up.
It went up. Oh, sorry, just had to do that.
All right. Well, upcoming this week, December 15th, 2017, a little movie called Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Also, Ferdinand.
Franz Ferdinand?
No.
Oh.
It's about Ferdinand the Bull, the children's book. About the bull that just wanted to sit under the tree all day.
Is that what it was?
Ferdinand? I'm assuming. I know it's about a bull, so I'm assuming it's that bull.
I know it's about bull.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was his plot.
Sounds like a lot of bull.
I remember reading that book as a kid. We had that one, and whatever I see on the commercials looks like they're taking a very short children's book and putting a lot of crap into it that really doesn't happen.
They did that with Polar Express.
Yes, that's what I did.
And where the wild things are.
In The Hobbit.
Well, with The Hobbit, those were written somewhere else, just in appendixes and simulacrums or whatever it's called. And yeah, that.
In preparation for Star Wars: The Last Jedi, TNT has been on like a huge Star Wars megathon.
Oh, yeah.
So, being sick with no other options, I did start rewatching the Star Wars episodes, and I did watch like Phantom Menace.
Did you watch them in
Clone
order?
Wars,
like episode 1 through episode 6 in order?
No, it's whatever I woke up and whatever was playing at the time I watched. And let me just say that the 1, 2, and 3, not the 4, 5, and 6.
The prequels?
Yeah, the prequels that they made. The CGI animation and all that does not stand up well. It looks like you're watching a Battlefront video game for most part of it. And I was really astonished on how shitty the CGI really is.
It looks worse as it goes on.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you saying 15 years later it didn't hold up?
No.
It didn't hold up 2 days later.
Yeah, I didn't think it was looked that impressive when I was watching it in the theater.
I didn't think the base, but I thought the aliens that Obi-Wan Kenobi goes to for the clones was cool looking. I thought they looked at least polished. The base looked awful that they were living at, but I thought they looked good, and that was the only thing I remember that was good. Jeff really liked the arena fight scene.
Yeah, the arena fight scene, that looked so realistic.
It did, especially when they're riding the one thing. Oh, God. Looks so good.
It was just really horrible. Oh yeah, if you're Obi-Wan and you go to the planet, what are you going to ride? I'm going to ride a bearded gecko lizard. What the fuck, man?
It can stick to the side.
You know, and even the what was the general Mobius? Grievous. Even his lightsaber Grievous. Even the lightsaber battle against Grievous was just so horrible and tacky.
Yeah,
it's just like, so bad.
You think it was supposed to be cool because he's got like 4 arms, each with a lightsaber?
Yeah.
No, it didn't work out that way.
Just more like a whirling dervish. I'm training your lightsaber ways. Really?
Oh, it is the giant Cuisinart.
I didn't learn the giant saw spin. Where's that come from in my Jedi training? But but the one thing, the only good thing to take away from those first 3 prequels is the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm sorry, what's his name?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
No, not Qui-Gon Jinn.
Darth Maul.
No, the guy who played Obi-Wan. What's his name?
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor. Sorry. He is spot on, Alec Guinness.
He is.
And I really, really hope if they do a 3-movie Star Wars spin-off, if they're going to go the Obi-Wan route, I really would like to see Ewan McGregor to take
The rumor is that they are contemplating if they're going to bring him back or not. Why? Why are you contemplating this?
Why would you contemplate?
The problem
go back.
I have with the whole thing, with Ewan McGregor and doing the thing is, man, it must suck to live in the desert because he aged pretty much for 18 years later.
Yeah. Well,
moisture farming will do that to you
pretty quickly.
Moisture farming really ages you.
Well, he wasn't doing the moisture farming.
No, but he was around it.
Oh.
Actually, you can make a funny skit out of it. Obi-Wan, the tattooing years, he's just like sitting there. Okay.
Watching TV. Watching TV.
Watching holograms.
What was the old one?
Go out and look at the farm and Luke. Okay, he's still there.
What was the fan film, the joke that was about the cop? It was about cops. It was a joke on cops, but it was called Troopers, and it was about the stormtroopers walking into doing their yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. You're watching Troopers.
That was a funny skit, but yeah, that's what he's doing.
But seriously, he had Alec Guinness's nonverbal, everything down, even his tone, the way he said, "Oh, well, hello there,"
his fighting stance,
his nonverbal cues, everything, very spot on.
Jar Jar Binks could have taken some notes on that nonverbal thing.
Yes. Why did you bring that up?
When he sticks his tongue out to get the apple. No. Oh my God! And Obi-Wan catches it. Ugh. Anyways. There's your box office news. Oh, are we buying, selling? The stock of people?
Oh.
This is not people we're buying. It's stock of people.
All right. Are you buying or selling stock in Morgan Freeman's career?
I'll buy because he does a lot of narration.
Oh, yeah, I'd buy. He's the best voiceover
go across the Arctic
actor in the world. So I'll buy Morgan Freeman stock.
Is there a God? He's doing that religious thing, too.
Yeah. Are you buying or selling?
I'm selling.
Okay.
You know why?
Because he's going to die soon?
Because you're going to make money from me buying.
He's going to die
when that happens, I buy.
Then you buy.
Yes.
I like it.
I was going to sell when he died because it's like it'll start spiking because everyone, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll sell you now. Yeah.
Yeah, copper.
Tommy Lee Jones. Buying or selling the stock?
Sell.
Of Tommy Lee
Unless he's
Jones'
in
career?
Two-Face. Unless he's Two-Face again.
Yeah, I was going to say, after that Batman movie, you should have sold or else you lost all value.
He doesn't like Jim Carrey.
Wow. I just saw something this week where they were talking about that.
Yeah, they really don't like each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm also selling my Tommy Lee Jones stock.
Okay. And I think let's do some top 5. I'm excited about this one.
All right. Well, that music means we need better music for our top 5 introduction.
Actually, Mr. Heno will probably be occupied for the next 3 years.
Why is that?
Breaking news. He's been appointed to a real-life Parks and Recreation Board.
Has he?
In Idaho.
After showing his interest in the government, someone decided that they would give him a job in the government?
Can we just call him Heno Swanson?
No. He's more like Heno Nope.
Yeah, he is more Heno Nope.
Would be Heno Nope. Henope.
But he does But he does have the abs of Chris Pratt. Speaking of abs, abs of the year presented by Heno and Stephanie of Gotham Lights. They just sent theirs in a couple weeks. The Floppy Awards will be here. That's our end of the year podcast awards. Very prestigious. People bribe us because we are like the Golden Globes, and so the people are sending in their recordings, so we appreciate it. Got lots of good podcasts on that one. Next week, we're going to have a special episode of a lot of guests are stopping by. We're going to have a round table. We do it every year, a holiday round table episode. And we got like 6 or 7 guests, I think, next week, so that's going to be fun. Blake Bott will be watching Wonder at the theater, so he might be coming in at the end. Who knows? Yeah. But let me know how Wonder is.
Sure.
And also, take a listen to us next week. We're excited about that one. And then after that is the Floppy Awards. Floppies.
Yeah. All right. So on to this week's top 5.
Top 5.
We decided we wanted to look ahead to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And things that we are excited about.
The future scares me.
We like to talk about movies a lot. We're going to talk about the top 5 movies that we're looking forward to in 2018.
That's right. That is next year, which is kind of depressing that it's already 2018.
Yeah, next year is in like 3 weeks from now.
Isn't it kind of like defeat the purpose? Like, go back and watch the movie 2012.
Oh, yeah.
You're past 2012.
There's many reasons why we should not watch 2012.
Well,
John Cusack driving a limo is one of them.
Whatever.
Kind of like going back and watching 2001.
No one should see that either.
Or listening to 1999.
Although,
Prince.
It would behoove everybody to go back and watch the movie off the book, 1984.
I was just going to say that.
And say,
you want to talk about...
And you read that and say, yeah, this is what's happening now. I don't see what the big deal is.
Insane.
Do you ever feel like you're very happy that you're part of this generation and not the future generation that will have to deal with even more shit?
All I got to say...
Well, that's the thing is, where does... Because, with the advancements in technology or whatever that make life, like, easier and great, where is the...
It's making it worse.
There's parts that are making it worse.
So where is the thing where it goes from the perfect sweet spot?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we reached it? And from here on out,
I think we passed the
we
spot.
fucked that spot.
Do you think we're past it?
I think we're past it.
So you would rather go back...
We're downhill.
You'd rather go back to the 80s right now?
Yeah.
Than what...
We found the G spot and we missed it. We screwed it up. And now we're getting the tap. Come on up.
So
We fucked it
you're
over.
pretty much saying the 1990s were it?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay.
It's nothing
Yeah.
but downhill from now.
And that
I,
may
honestly-
be-
I never thought, George
But we
Orwell...
barely even had
I never thought George
internet.
Orwell could be such a visionary. I mean, when I read the book in high school, I'm like, this will never happen. And now I'm like, holy shit. This is insane. It's real.
But things like iPhones, we didn't have those in the 90s.
Just got the new iPhone 8 Plus.
Ooh.
Because my other iPhone died. And so my wife had to switch over anyways.
Didn't they switch didn't they skip 9 and went straight to X?
Well, that's only the 10th anniversary thing. And you have to relearn it and everything, but it was nice because
am I the only one that's pissed off about the iTunes upgrade on the iPhone?
I don't know anyone who isn't.
You know, they fucked up the whole iTunes thing. It used to be so simple. But now they just.
I've heard a
fucked
lot,
it all
especially
up.
in the podcast stuff. People are pissed at.
So it's not just me.
Not just
I'm sitting
you,
there going,
no.
why the fuck did they fuck this up?
For once, it's not just you.
Yeah.
You all right with that?
I know. Let me think about that.
So anyway, let's get on to our top 5 list.
Oh, yeah. So anyways. Oh, yeah. So we can add that to Amy Whalen's question. 1984, the book and the movie.
Yeah.
The movie ain't good.
One of my favorite.
We're living the movie.
The movie's alright. The movie's alright.
No, we're
right.
we're living it.
Well, I'll start. What I'm looking forward to, my number 5 is Mortal Engines. The Peter Jackson adapting the book series, steampunky, futuristic, what do you call it? Dystopian future stories.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. We'll see if it's going to be more of a Lord of the Ringsy or Peter Jackson's writing and producing, not
Or more
directing.
Fresh Prince, Wild Wild West.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I hope it's not like that.
I hope it is like that.
Wild Wild West.
James West.
Me and Artemis, Clyde Frog, Earth Saving Salma. Hi.
If it brings Kevin Kline back to my movie screens, I'm fine with that. How about In and Out 2? My number 5 is I hope he did.
Of course you did.
Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom, because I love Jurassic Park movies. The trailer actually made it fall from number 1.
Wow, all the way to 5.
Yeah.
1, 2, 5.
Tied to number
Wait,
2. It was number 2.
5A, 5B, 5C.
Yeah.
5B? The trailer made me go up on this one. Rampage with The Rock. It looks like a fun movie. It doesn't look good, but it looks fun. And I'm actually going to take my son to see it opening day.
Let's take an 80s arcade game and make it a movie.
It looks awesome!
And the movie has nothing to do with the arcade game.
It looks awesome.
Well, they're smashing buildings, aren't they?
They are.
Is there a
Okay.
giant wolf in it?
Peoria is getting destroyed again.
Yes.
Go ahead, Billy. What's your number 5?
Say, my number 5, I actually saw this preview when I was in the Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know this movie was coming out, but they played it, and I'm like, this looks pretty funny.
Bumblebee, the Transformers spinoff?
No, not Bumblebee. That is not in my top 5. Spoiler, not in my top 5.
Mine neither, so we're...
That's Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman's Game Night.
I don't know this one.
No, I don't either.
Go watch the trailer. It's
Didn't even come
actually
up on
pretty
any
funny.
lists I looked at.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that. It actually looks pretty funny. Yeah. It's about a bunch of couples that get together for game nights, and one of the game nights go awry where it's like a real murder kidnapping, and they think it's all part of the game. Like the guys at the house, he hosts them over there. The gangsters come in and
They
like,
think it's like
they think it's like a show. They're like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Murder party thing.
They're like, oh yeah, like a murder party. Oh my gosh, it's a murder party. They're dragging away. It looks so real. They're like,
Is this kind of like
help me?
Is this the Man Who Knew Too Little, the Bill Murray one?
You know what they
No.
did? They didn't give a safe word. So if he starts yelling banana, banana, it's not part of the.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So they go ahead and part of what they think they're supposed to do is try and go rescue him. They don't realize it's real. It's not a game. It's not a game.
Oh, that intrigues me.
So it's called game night.
Who's the female in it? The actress?
Rachel McAdams.
I like.
Hubba hubba.
Yeah, anytime
that.
she's in a movie, it's probably worth seeing.
That's right.
I'm with
Except
you.
for The Notebook.
What's your number 4, Blake?
All right, my next one is got. Looking forward to it. It's got my favorite character actor, Tom Hardy,
Okay.
because you can't recognize him from movie to movie because he's that good.
Well, that's usually because he's wearing a mask.
Well, this time is going to be tough because he's wearing a mask. He's Venom.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's Venom.
Yes.
That could be interesting.
I would like to see it.
I don't know if he can top Topher Grace as Venom.
Oh, God.
It's a tough call.
Wow.
Okay, so you're talking about the Star
Topher
Wars.
Grace or Mila Kunis?
Mila. So you're talking about
Now get her to play Venom.
that would be awesome. There's a rumor that
movie's
there's a
going on
female
in my
Venom.
mind right now.
There's a rumor there's going to be a female Venom in it. You're talking about the Star Wars trilogy. The prequels are awful, and they were showing them a lot.
Yes.
This week they were showing the Spider-Man movies, the Andrew Garfield ones.
Oh.
And right before you guys came here in the green room, Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was on. And I'm not kidding. For a whole 2 minutes, I sat there like, who is the main bad guy in this one? It completely blacked out from my mind.
Electro?
I forgot it was Electro. And I'm like, seriously, who is the bad guy in this? And then I was like, James Franco? No, that's the other trilogy. Yeah. And I'm like,
Pete Davidson played him in that.
Yes. And I'm not bullshitting. For like 2 minutes, I was like, who the fuck is the bad guy in this? I was like, oh, it's Electro. Oh, Jamie Foxx.
It wasn't even a good Electro.
No, it was a terrible version of Electro.
It's horrible.
Let's see, my number 4. I really like this movie. I'm a little hesitant on...
How do you know you like it? It's not
No, the original, sorry.
Oh.
The first one. I'm hesitant on the sequel, but then I heard who's in it. Creed 2. The Rocky Balboa one with Michael B. Jordan.
Are you kidding me?
Creed 2, no. Ivan Drago's in it.
Oh, my God.
And he's training somebody to beat Creed.
Oh,
and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm in. I love Creed. Creed is very well done.
Why don't they just call it Rocky 9?
Well, Rocky's not fighting. He's just
but
coaching.
It's still the Rocky. Did they come up with a Rocky universe that we don't know about? Are they
all
pushing a Rocky universe?
That would actually be cool. Oh, so does that mean Creed 3, they'll have Tommy Gunn there teaching somebody else how to
Torch Boy. It is Michael B. Jordan, Torch Boy. There you go.
Jesus.
I really like Creed.
Torch Boy.
And I think Creed 2 is going to be fun. What's your number 4, Jeff?
My number 4 is based off of a book I read when I was a wee youngin'. That's coming out as a movie with Oprah Winfrey even.
A Wrinkle in Time?
A Wrinkle in
There
Time.
you go.
Yeah, that's my hesitation. Oprah sponsoring it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that would be my honorable mention.
Okay. I mean,
Because I read the
I'm
book as a
looking forward
youngin'.
to it.
As
I
a
might
young,
not like
as
it.
a youngling myself, I read the book, yes.
And the thing is, I don't even remember anything about the book.
It was pretty boring.
I remember I liked it when I read it, but I don't remember pretty much
bored in
most
tears
of
with
the
it. I
plot.
remember.
Yeah. I don't think I ever finished it. I think I started it several times. I just never got to finishing it.
I didn't read the entire series. I just read the first book. I know that, but
Oh, there's a series?
oh yeah,
Oh, shit.
There's a series? I didn't realize
so I'm pretty sure there was a series.
There's a whole blanket.
Find out how many.
It's the three Mrs. Who's It, What's It, and whatever they call themselves. I don't remember now.
Sure.
It's played by Oprah
Oh, God.
and Mindy Kaling and was it Reese Witherspoon?
The Time Quintet. It's a Wrinkle in Time, A Wind in the Door, A Swiftly Tilting Planet, Many Waters, and An Acceptable Time. There you go.
Hey, so 5 books.
I guess that's what quintet means.
Yeah.
It's not a musical instrument. The quintet. The quintet.
Is that what they play in the cantina scene?
Yeah.
$10.99 on Amazon for all of them.
All right.
Wow.
Jeff's getting that
How
for
far
Christmas.
you know what? The price will go up now. Buy stock in that now.
Stock in A Wrinkle in Time.
Oprah.
That's right.
Oprah
I'm
got
buying Oprah stock, damn
it. There you
it.
go.
Ugh.
This movie will help put her stock up.
She needs a break. She has not had that big break in life. I really hope Oprah gets it. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I hobied this one. I've got a tie because they're connected. Mm-hmm. Black Panther and the
Fuck you.
Avengers.
Fuck you.
What?
Avengers Infinity War is my number 2.
Okay.
Black Panther is my number 1.
Oh,
There
they're
you
both
go.
my number
Put
3.
it on the board.
Bam.
Black Panther looks amazing.
Damn.
Does.
God, a Black Panther I want to see. I wanted to see that 2 years ago. I wanted to see that 10 years ago. That movie looks amazing. And Michael B. Jordan's in it.
Yeah.
Torch Boy.
So Black Panther, okay. He stole the show in the last Avengers movie. Or Captain America. Which one was it? Captain America.
They all run
It
together
was basically Avengers. Yeah, well, it does. Did you see Chris Evans stick up for the kid that was being bullied? Did you see that
No,
on
I didn't
Twitter?
see that.
There's this kid that was being bullied at school, like really bad, and his mom posted it on Twitter to show like this is the effects of kids bullying. And Chris Evans responded and said, these guys, there'll be losers looking out for what to do in their life. You know what you're going to be doing? Coming to LA to see the Avengers 2 Infinity War premiere with your mom. And then, like, it just blew up. Mark Ruffalo responded to it, like, don't listen to them. It gets better. Like, Chris Evans even was like, it gets better.
Just don't fly on Harvey Weinstein's private jet.
That's right.
Or Kevin Spacey's.
Chris Evans is a fucking treasure to this country. God, I love him.
Did you say Chris Edwards?
Evans.
I think you said Chris Edwards.
I meant Chris Evans.
He meant me.
Oh.
Yes. Herm Edwards, I meant. Herm Edwards.
No, but isn't it amazing how stuff just spikes in pitfalls?
Yeah.
Like this huge spike originally was the guy saving the bunny rabbit in the California fires.
Oh, yes.
Close to Dark Angel, Pretty Freaks.
Yeah.
Is that Neil?
Yeah.
He was saving the bunny, right?
Yeah, I think it was Neil. He was close.
But all of a sudden now they're all like roasting the guy.
Literally.
Boo.
Roasting the guy about, you're not supposed to do that, and here's what it'd be, what if you got caught in the fire, then people would die trying to save you, and blah. So it's like, this is why we missed the sweet spot already, Jason. This is why the 90s was the peak of human civilization.
Did you wait till the end of that bunny video? It turns on him and bites his head off. It's really vicious.
Sharp, pointy teeth.
Blood spurting everywhere.
Run away.
Somebody just took the bunny and launched it back into the fire. Number 3, for me, I guess I'm excited about it.
I guess.
I should be. Solo. The Han Solo movie? Yeah, I guess so.
You fucker.
Is that your number 1?
That was my trepid number 1.
Yeah! Knocking that off. Put it on the board.
Yeah.
I guess I'm excited about it. I'm more excited about that than the other two, so there you go.
If there's one character you can really piss a lot of people off if you don't do it right with a one-off spin-off, it's going to be this one right here.
Well, you know what? They saw that. They heard your comment. And they said, fuck you, we're going to make 3 of them. We're really going to piss you off.
We're really going to screw it up.
The guy looks good. Like, he looks a...
Well, are they going to get Torchboy to play young Lando?
Oh, jeez.
No, that's Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover is actually, playing Lando.
So you're going to see the card game where he loses the Millennium Falcon?
I hope so.
I hope not. I don't want to know anything about Solo.
But that was the best part about him.
I mean, honestly, that's the only thing I want to see is the card game where he loses.
It's the only thing you know.
I mean, it's going to start with Lando owning the Millennium Falcon, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Good question.
Depends. It depends what they cut. Right, Ron Howard.
It's going to be
I think that's part of the reason I want to see
poker
it.
game with Colt 45.
Yeah. And Topher Grace because he's a big poker player. He's in the
As we
background.
saw that in Ocean's 11.
What's your number 3, Blake?
My number 3, apparently not on any of your guys' list, although we haven't knocked any of
Mamma Mia 2?
Jeff's off.
It's not Mamma Mia 2 on my list.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Kind of looking forward to it because I did like the first one.
I love the first one, and that's why I'm worried about the second one.
And, I'm feeling the same way. It's like, one, I'm not sure. I was never a fan of Cable. So the fact they're bringing Cable in, I'm afraid they're going to give too much Cable in the Deadpool movie.
He has a lot of pockets, though.
I think they're lessening the pockets in the movie.
I hope it's good. I trust Ryan Reynolds.
But I'm
a little worried because the first one is so damn good.
And my list, I feel I'm not even looking forward to many sequels. Like the Avengers is the sequel that made my list.
I'm excited about Infinity War just because there's a lot of characters coming together.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really that... I think I'm kind of like... Yeah, I'm excited about the Marvel movies and DC. DC, no. But I'll watch them, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, Black Panther is original. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Just because it's a different take on a character, or like a different superhero. Great, love it. Avengers? Yeah, we've seen them all team up. No, we haven't seen this much. Yeah. I'm more excited about Guardians of the Galaxy joining the main connected universe than anything.
Who are these guys?
Bunch of a-holes. What's your number 2?
My number 2, I'm sure Mr. Bednar will appreciate. Ready Player One.
That's my number 1.
Hey, I got yours.
Yeah. Did you see the poster with the guy's 7-foot leg?
The leg, I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw the poster.
Yeah, the leg is all the way down. And the best is on Twitter.
People are going crazy with it.
But they're like, there was people like a huge tweet going on, where's his knee? And they were trying to determine where his knee was. And they're like, I think it's by his hip. Wait, hold on.
I saw a bunch of people making little things like,
how does that get through editing?
Another picture, a picture of Ty Sheridan from like another movie or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't see what the problem here is. And there's a picture of him where they just elongated his legs in another picture. And oh, you people are just making fun of tall people. That's all.
How does that get through editing?
Stupidity.
Did you like the trailer? Did you like the new trailer?
I liked the new trailer better than the first trailer.
First one I was not too impressed with. I haven't seen the second one. We posted, but I never even watched it.
Yeah, the second one at least let you into the basic story plot, as opposed to just showing a bunch of cars driving real fast.
Drives fast.
Yeah.
That's your number 2, Blake?
Well, yeah, that was my number 2. My number 1 was Solo.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars story.
My number 2 is Avengers Infinity War. Number 1 is Black Panther.
My number 2 is New Mutants.
That looks fucked up, and I like it.
I'm looking for a new take on a comic book superhero franchise, and that looks intriguing enough for me.
Looks very Legion-like.
I'm very much excited for that one.
Okay.
And then my number 1 was Ready Player One.
Some movies that we did not list. Peter Rabbit, the cartoon.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon, which I think I saw in the 1970s.
And then again in the 2000s.
Let's see. Hotel Transylvania 3.
Yeah, shitty live action, but
A Star is Born. They're remaking A Star is
wow,
Born.
a 4th time?
Yeah, it is. Let me get you who it's with. Let's see.
God, I think that was
Bradley Cooper's directing it.
wow.
Let's see. The cast is Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
All right.
Andrew Dice Clay's in it.
Oh, boy.
I'm intrigued to see it because I think I've seen 2 of the. I think there's 3 previous.
Remember the
There might have
Barbara
been
Streisand
more.
one with Chris Christopherson?
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
Maze Runner, The Death Something's coming out. Tomb Raider, Pacific Rim 2. Let's see here. The Meg, about the giant shark. And let's see here. I'm just making sure. Aquaman comes out next year.
It does,
Okay.
but
And nobody said Incredibles 2 or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
like I said, I didn't really put a lot of sequels on my list. Okay. So I mean, I'm kind of getting sequeled out. I mean, I'll watch them. I know I'll see them, but they're not the ones that get me excited.
Some top 5 listener picks from Shauna, Pittsburgh Nerd. Still reeling over that Bengals beatdown, didn't ya? Oh, yeah, 17-3, baby. Suck it.
Yeah, they played another quarter.
No,
after
they didn't.
that.
A half, actually. You know what, though? We do want to say big congrats to the Browns for finally beating somebody this week. They looked really good against the Packers.
No, overtime happened.
Oh, they were up by 14 in the 4th.
Yeah, overtime happened. They lost.
The Browns happened.
Only we can lose that way.
Let's see. Sean had Deadpool 2, Alita, Battle Angel, colon.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is.
Avengers Infinity War. 2 was Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. And number 1, Ready Player One. Besotted Geek, big Star Wars fan. Number 5 had Fantastic Beasts, colon, he even wrote that out, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Number 4 is Black Panther. 3, The New Mutants. 2, Deadpool 2. Number 1, Avengers, colon, Infinity War. Dev, the side guy, had Paddington 2, 50 Shades Freed. 3 is Sherlock Gnomes. 2 is Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral. Boo. And number 1, Mary Poppins Returns. I think he's lying.
I don't think he is. I think he's looking forward to those. Have you guys seen, when I was looking this, I didn't realize this was coming out, a Holmes and Watson movie?
Yes, with John C. Reilly
and Will Ferrell?
Yes.
Oh, God. I'm very much
scared.
That would be on my bottom 5.
We should do that another time. Bottom 5 movies coming out. And from Meow God, she wants the Mary Poppins movie with Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
So thank you guys for listening. Check out Winter Ridge. You can follow them on Twitter and that. Let's see here. We'll put links to that. And Thanks for Dom and Matt for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Next week is our roundtable episode. We're excited about it, so listen in. And bad idea of the week. We end this every week. Number 73. Fuck the plan. That's what we're doing. Hey, we got a plan, Blake. What are you going to do it? What are you going to do?
Fuck the plan.
Fuck the plan.
So is the plan the bad idea, or fucking the plan the bad idea?
Fucking the plan is the bad idea.
Okay.
Let you know we're an explicit podcast. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
From Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history of not so bad. There's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. History of bad ideas. Podcast.
You were listening to Hobie.
Addendum. This is when we decide the title of the show because of Randall Holt. But Randall Holt has not emailed us many questions or tweeted us many questions. Better get those fucking questions in, Randall, for the end of the year. How dare you wear a Hobie shirt out in public and not talk to us? Addendum.
Okay, that was the crappiest addendum we've ever done.
Yes.
So, title.
Yes.
Anything good?
Well, I don't know good, but here's what I wrote. Forrest Gump Wayne, because he was running. Yeah. A flailing Bruce Wayne, because I just like Blake's motions with his hands. SJP walks into a bar. Oprah's Big Break. Roasting the Bunny. Stupid Decisions in the Apocalypse. Goes with our history.
I came with Flemmy Tonight.
No, I'm out.
A little phlegmy tonight.
Super Wet Dagobah.
Do you like Super Wet Dagobah? Do you like that?
Chemical Swamp.
Chemical Swamp.
Jurassic Park of the Caribbean. And Purple, a Perplexing Pigment.
Do you like the Jurassic Park of the Caribbean? Blake is thinking. What you got, Blake?
That's all good.
No, you pick one. How was that?
No.
I like Jurassic Park of the Caribbean.
I liked it.
Just because I picture a dinosaur with a pirate hat on. Or Super Wet Dagobah.
Or Flemmy Tonight.
No, not Flemmy Tonight. That's disgusting. I do like Super Wet Dagobah.
Can't you just see the people who... wow, what's this about? It's called Flemmy Tonight. I must listen to it.
No. I do like Super Wet Dagobah because I just feel like the water's rising.
Super Wet Dagobah. I do think I like Jurassic Park of the Caribbean slightly better than Super Wet Dagobah.
2 out of 3.
Or Super Cumulus Cloud City.
I like Super Cumulus. No, we're doing Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
All right.
Okay. 2 out of 3. Can't go wrong.
Jurassic Park of the Caribbean.
Yes. Yep.